highway, won't you lend me your name? Your way and my way seem to be one and the same. Mama don't understand.
Welcome to the Stacker 2 pre-race show presented by Stacker 2.
And this is NASCAR country, the country road, a half-mile track here in Bristol, Tennessee. Bristol, more than a track, it truly is a treasure. We're about to return to racing's roots for some hard-banging, fender-bending, side-by-side action. And as always, the Hollywood Hotel, trackside right on top of things, open and ready to welcome you as our favorite guest. Hi, I'm Chris Myers, and welcome to Racing on FX with the Stacker 2 pre-race show. And what Wrigley Field is to baseball, Bristol Motor Speedway is to stock car racing. The fans here sit right up on the action, the noise deafening, and the competition on the track cutthroat. This place is laps and laps of fun, and for the driver who had the most fun yesterday, let's go down trackside to Scott Riggs. He's sitting on the pole and standing by with our Matt Yoka. Matt?
And Chris, that fast rookie set a new track record, but Scott Riggs, that's one lap. How about 250 today? How do you approach it here?
Well, you know, we have to be very patient with the Nesquik 4 today. Everybody, I know all the guys up there really enjoy the way that we get aggressive with the cars and get aggressive at the racetracks. But, you know, it's an aggressive racetrack enough as it is, and we're just going to have to be patient and be smooth and, you know, really miss all the lap cars, and they're going to definitely play a role and a factor in the race, and just try to save our equipment and try to be there at the end.
The bad news for the competition, he came here and tested for 3 hours. They never worked on qualifying trim, just race setup. It's going to be bad news for the competition. Now, to Speedway Illustrated's Dick Berggren. Dick?
Thanks, Matt. Jeff Green won the year 2000 Busch Series championship. He's won 2 Busch Series poles here. He's won a Winston Cup pole here. He's finished second 4 times at Bristol, but he has never won here. He starts second today in a car other drivers say is good enough to win. Every finish this year has been better than the race before. He was third last week. Will today be Jeff Green's first ever Bristol Busch win? He's tried 17 times before, but odds were never better than they are today. Chris Myers.
All right, Dick, one of the storylines we'll be watching with Jeff Hammond, the Hollywood Hotel. We're set right up on the garage area, the activity behind us. One of the all-time great crew chiefs, at least that's what Jeff keeps telling me, every race we come to. Hey, you know, 18-year-old Brian Vickers is missing his high school prom at Trinity High School in Thomasville, North Carolina, to be here at Bristol in the race today. You got to be kind of crazy to do something like that, don't you?
No, you don't.
Why not?
Because I did.
Really?
Yes, I did. As a matter of fact, when I was in high school, I had an opportunity to go to the prom or go to Bristol. I came to Bristol. It's the best race on the circuit, and I wouldn't have missed it for anything, including my prom.
All right. Well, the reward is worth it all. What should we look for today as a former crew chief in terms of telling a young driver, especially like a Brian Vickers, when he might have other things on his mind, he's got to have this track on his mind?
Well, you got to take care of your equipment, and you've got to have patience. You've already heard from Scotty Riggs. This is what you've got to have to be good at Bristol. You've got to realize this place will jump up and bite you because everything happens so fast.
And you see the driver introductions as they're getting ready to go. This is the first of 6 short tracks in the Busch Series this year. Coming up here live, we'll be talking with Ryan Newman. He'll check into the Hollywood Hotel with Jeff and I, and you'll hear from Stock Cars version of Jillian Barbary. That deserves a wow. We're in Bristol, Tennessee. The NASCAR Busch Series rolling forward on FX.
Weapons charges. He's playing against the Lakers.
Damn, I gotta call my bookie. The Shield, all new, Tuesday at 10 on FX.
Stacker 2 pre-race show.
Welcome back to the Hollywood Hotel here in Bristol, Tennessee. Ryan Newman, a rookie on the Winston Cup Series, currently second in points, joining Jeff Hammond and myself here. And certainly, when you ran here in the Busch Series, you finished in the top 10 twice, so you at least had some success on this track. How different a track is this from what other drivers experience, and what would you recommend for the guys who are running here the first time?
It's amazing. It's a track that downforce has very little to do with, but you want to do everything you can to keep those fenders on that car the whole race. You just want to do everything you can to keep the car in good track position. You know that you can be a 200ths of a second slower per lap, and it only takes so long to be that much farther back. And you got to keep the car in good condition, have good track position. But you know, as a Winston Cup driver now, I think back to when I ran in the Busch car. The Winston Cup car's got so much more horsepower, and it's kind of hard to deal with.
And that's the biggest difference, right? And for you, the advantages of coming from that series into the Winston Cup?
On a track like yeah, definitely. A track here, it's horsepower. You try to get so much power down these straightaways, and obviously you get to the corners as fast as you can, but the quicker you can get down those straightaways, the better you're going to be.
Well, Ryan, we got Scotty Riggs on the pole for today's race, and he's a rookie here. What would you tell him, and does he really know what he's getting himself into here at Bristol?
I think he knows. I think he thinks he knows, but you know, there's so many things that can just jump up and bite you, whether it's a wall-off turn 2 or a lapped car or, you know, a bad pit stop getting you a bad track position. You think you know everything, and you go out there and you attack the racetrack and you attack the drivers and you attack the competition, but no matter what, it seems like there's always one thing that jumps up and tries to bite you, but if you can avoid that, you'll have a good day.
I want to get more of your thoughts of Ryan Newman, the Altel Penske Ford. You'll see him, of course, tomorrow on Fox in the Food City 500. This, though, the 5th of 34 Busch races this season. Here's a look at the championship point standings so far, showing only 1 point separating second and third place, in the battle for the lead also pretty tight. Kenny Wallace, Michael Waltrip, Jason Keller have all won at Bristol before, and Jason is standing by with our Steve Burke. Steve?
And Chris, Jason Keller has won here before, but he wants to win that first NASCAR Busch Series championship, and this is a tough place to do it.
Well, you know, I don't know if you can win it here, but you sure can lose it here. But it's a tough racetrack, no matter where you are, first or last. It's going to be tough. But got a real fast Albertsons Ford, and hopefully we can keep that up front and just, you know, keep our nose clean more than anything. And, you know, still a long season, but we're off to a good start, getting a lot of great runs under our belt so far, so looking forward to it.
Jason, you like to race on concrete.
I do. I used to like it more than I do now, but I've had a lot of success here in Dover, and just really feel comfortable. I feel like once you get the car working good, you can keep it there. So just also want to say hi to Joe and Jade back home there watching me, and hopefully I'll do good today.
All right, best of luck. Let's go back to Chris Myers.
All right, thanks very much. As you see the drivers and their crews getting ready, it is a cool, chilly day, but sunny. We're going to have more from Ryan Newman here from the Hollywood Hotel. We're getting closer to the start of the Channellock 250. You're watching the Stacker 2 pre-race show on FX. A lot more to come as we count down to the start of the race. Stick around.
An all-new episode, Tuesday at 10, only on FX.
Good day, sir. May I see your license and registration, please? Sir, do you know how fast you were going?
185. 190.
Sir, you were going 64 in a 55-mile-an-hour zone. I'm going to have to write you up for that.
Officer, are you sure I wasn't doing 190?
Welcome back to the Stacker 2 pre-race show.
Had a great crowd filing in here in Bristol, located in the northeast part of Tennessee. The motto here, racing the way it ought to be. Matt Kenseth, who won this race last year, is not here, but Kevin Harvick is racing in today's Busch event. He won last August. In fact, he's won 2 of the last 3 Busch races here at this track. And green flag racing coming soon here. This is the first of 5 visits to Tennessee by the Busch Series. And who needs Doppler radar when it comes to weather? We have Mick radar. You see the weather forecast. We'll tell you about that. And we continue from Bristol, Tennessee on the Stacker 2 pre-race show here on FX. Don't go away.
Welcome back to the Stacker 2 pre-race show.
And glad to have you with us. Welcome back to the Hollywood Hotel. The cars are not yet racing, but hearts and minds racing ahead to the dropping of the green flag at this legendary track. Let's go trackside and our Matt Yoakum. Matt?
Chris, one driver to watch today is Mr. Excitement, Jimmy Spencer. He starts on the outside of row 2 in the yellow freight number 1 car. Spencer has one win here at Bristol, but it was a very special one. He told me this morning to win at Bristol is extra special. Of all the wins that I've had, Bristol is the most important one in my trophy case. He hopes for another one today. To Steve.
Thanks, Matt. Two-time Busch Series champion Randy LaJoie has 17 starts at Bristol, but he's never won. They tested 2 days here, but crew chief Wally Rogers still not happy with the race car. They threw a lot of changes this morning. Springs, shocks, sway bars, and a gear to see if they can get them going. To Speedway Illustrated's Dick Berggren.
Drivers, crews, fans, even us, everybody loves Bristol. For some, it's the high intensity. For others, the high speed. For still others, it's the high banks. This place is so high, it's almost like stock car racing heaven. To the Hollywood Hotel.
All right, thanks a lot. And, Jeff, we heard from Jimmy Spencer at the start of that. That's someone along with another guy who runs in the Winston Cup that you'll be watching closely.
Yeah, I really like Kenny Wallace here today. I think he's got his team coming together. And Kenny's run well here before. I've worked with him one time before. I know he's sitting on the podium. I believe these guys here could be somebody can surprise you today.
Just kind of an educated guess. Speaking of education, I love teasing Ryan Newman about his degree, his BS from Purdue in vehicle structural engineering, right? What was your minor?
I didn't have a minor.
All right, so it was a lot about cars. So your whole life is cars. Now, how do you study something like that?
It was just a backbone for me to associate to racing, to associate to being able to communicate. It took a lot of communications classes as well as mechanical engineering classes, and the interdisciplinary program at Purdue allowed me to do that. So instead of being a mechanical engineering major, I could try to focus on some other things that I thought were going to be important for my career, and that's what college is all about.
Yeah, and it certainly has helped. I want you to stick around. I've got a little weather update. We like to think of our broadcast crew as very versatile, and many of the guys were drivers or crew chiefs before becoming TV stars here on Fox and FX. Larry McReynolds, whose fantasy is to be a weather man or a weather person like Fox Sports' Jillian Barbery. Well, today we gave Larry the chance to analyze more than just the race.
Yeah, I'm your weatherman. Thanks, Chris. Hey, Larry Mack here at the track with this weekend's forecast. Now, I may not be as pretty as Fox's other weather personality, but I'm a different kind of weatherman. Now, the forecast for Bristol is snow, lots of snow. What? That can't be right. That's Bristol, Connecticut. Y'all been listening to Chris Myers' show. I'm talking about Bristol, Tennessee. You guessed it, Thunder Valley. And what I'm predicting is thunder and lots of it. It's like thunder, lightning. We got a pressure system building right here. High pressure up here, low pressure down here. But here there's no pressure because the front ends are gone. You know what? Aerodynamics don't matter here at Bristol at this short track. And something else to look for after a 5-race drought, Hurricane Harvick. He makes his return to the Busch Series. Can the reigning champion reign supreme once again? We'll see. Now, as we check out our 2-day forecast, we definitely see there's a storm brewing with thunder, lots of thunder in today's Busch Series race, and it only gets stronger tomorrow with possibly some lightning in that Winston Cup race. Finally, I'm seeing a lot of hot air in the infield, but no need to worry. I think it's contained in that Hollywood Hotel. Jeff and Chris, back to you.
All right, okay, all right. I don't think...
He's got a lot of room to talk, doesn't he?
I don't think Willard Scott has anything to worry about. Thunder Valley, of course, appropriately named. Ryan, as a driver, how much do you care about the weather, especially as it relates to this track and concrete?
Every once in a while, the clouds will come in and mess you up a little bit, change the racetrack. But typically, because it's concrete, it doesn't attract a lot of heat. It's not real black. And, you know, because it's so cool, the rubber is what it is. It's not going to get greasy or oily. It's just what it is on the racetrack. And you'll see the second group start to work in as the Busch guys go side by side.
Worth watching. You know, by the way, Larry McReynolds, anybody who tapes the Weather Channel has real issues.
I guarantee you. Like he said, Bristol is what it is.
That's our Stacker 2 pre-race show. Ryan Newman will hang in the Hollywood Hotel to watch with us. Let's go racing in Bristol, Tennessee. Stick around.
All the way in the far northeast corner of Tennessee sits Thunder Valley and this beautiful stadium-style speedway where the seats reach all the way up to the stars. And the stars are down on that half-mile oval below. Today, NASCAR on FX presents the NASCAR Busch Series for 250 laps around Bristol Motor Speedway. The racetrack that's built like a cereal bowl made of concrete. And that's the half mile here at Bristol. Hi, everybody. Mike Joy with Larry McReynolds and Darrell Waltrip. And Darrell, a lot of exuberant, I hate to keep overusing the phrase young guns, but that's what we've got here. They're loaded and ready to rock.
Yeah, our pole setter, he's going to be fun to watch, I guarantee you. Scott Riggs, he's up on the wheel all the time, and that's great, but it can get you in a lot of trouble here. But you know what I like about today? You get to be a race fan. If you're a Winston Cup driver, you get up on top of your truck or you go over in your hauler and you watch a race. And this is a fun place to watch a race because it's always exciting and unpredictable.
All right, Larry, how do you keep spelling patience to your young driver?
About twice every lap. But you know, the guys I really want to watch today is those 43 crew chiefs. 250 laps. Strategy. You've got 2 sets of tires, change on the caution. The tires really don't give up here. I believe I'd rather have track position than fresh tires.
Your tires will last longer than your fenders will, I guarantee you.
That's it here. You talk about using up the car. It's the bumper and the fenders, not the tires.
Yeah, you don't have to have all the fenders on it here to win either.
You want to be out front near the end, no matter what.
Larry will be counseling patience, but the big word here starts with a capital T. R-O-U-B-L-E. That's Bristol.
I got it.
So let's get set to go racing around Bristol Motor Speedway for 250 laps. Capital T, that is.
We got trouble.
Welcome back to the hills of Tennessee and Bristol Motor Speedway. Today's race, the Food City 250. 43 of the NASCAR Busch Series drivers set to challenge this speedway for 250 laps. Let's go trackside for opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you stand, please, for our invocation and remain standing for the national anthem. For today's invocation, the Reverend Ham Fuller from the Emmanuel Episcopal Church in Bristol.
Are you glad to be here? Well, let's give thanks. Gracious God, we come before you from all walks of life, all creeds and faiths, from places all over the globe. And we recognize and celebrate that you are the source of life. And we thank you. We believe that this life is given that we might be blessed and be a blessing. And we give you thanks. We know that your creative and celebrative nature is within each one of us. And we thank you. In this land based on freedom, we recognize that freedom is your desire for all people and that it comes with a cost. And we thank you, asking your blessing on all those who serve in freedom's cause. And finally, we thank you, Lord, for the gift of life and the gift of your love. We celebrate and give thanks today because of you, gracious and loving God. Amen.
250 laps here at Bristol Motor Speedway. And let's go trackside to Steve Burns.
Well, thanks, Mike. 23-year-old rookie Johnny Saunders with a championship race team. He says he doesn't want to be patient. The competition is so fierce. He's going to be aggressive today in that race car vacated by former series champion Kevin Harvick. Tonight, Yogi.
Steve, the pit stalls on pit road today are 16 by 24, very small in this tight pit road. But more importantly for Jeff Green, they feel like they could have gone to victory lane already this year. So this weekend, the 31 pit crew, Big Mike Sears and the guys in the Winston Cup effort have come over to help out on Saturday, hoping to get Jeff Green, who starts second, into first at the end of the day. To Dick Berggren.
Bristol is the last racetrack on the NASCAR circuit with a pit on the front and on the back stretch. Used to be a huge disadvantage to pit out back under the caution flag. NASCAR is trying to fix that today. For the very first time, no matter where a driver is in the grid, he is going to have to enter the speedway to pit off the second turn. He's going to then have to exit from his pit area off the first turn. Goof it up, go in the wrong place, go out of the wrong place. It is to the end of the longest line. No change with the green flag pitting rules, but it's a little complicated under caution. Mike?
Thanks, Dick. I'm a day ahead of myself. Tomorrow's race, the Food City 500. Today it's the Channellock 250 for the NASCAR Busch Series.
A little warm-up event, 250 laps. Just, get everything warmed up.
This 250 could
seem like 500.
Good. Let's have a look at the Castrol starting grid for today's race. There's Scott Riggs' car on the pole. Fellow used to drive that car. Jeff Green starts right alongside Ford Chevy front row.
Jason Keller, 99, won this race and set on the pole.
Wasn't that a track record?
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was. By a rookie.
Jimmy Spencer right there, Kenny Wallace. Michael Waltrip with Lewis in the fourth row. Going to take a little extra time to heat the engines and run pace laps because it is very cold here in Bristol, Tennessee. There's the Pep Boys onboard cam with Ken Alexander. We'll start 38.
Might be cold now, but not for long.
Kenny Wallace, Stacker 2 camera, goes off 6th. Michael Waltrip in the 99 will start 7th. The Aaron's onboard camera. Greg Biffle, the Briggs and Stratton cam. He's got a co-driver there.
Who's this guy over here?
Biffle will start 18th. Ashton Lewis Jr. will be carrying our Ray Bestis brake cam, starting from 8th spot. And up at the front row, near the front row, Johnny Sauter. That's the AC Delco camera. He's 13th.
And we're on 1 to go.
And then on the front row, Jeff Green, the Rockwell Automation cam, starting on the outside of the front row.
You'd like to wiggle that baby around a little bit and put some heat in those tires, but now where'd he come from? Did he come out of the stands? You can't do that.
No, he's one of the record drivers. Went up, I guess, to get a piece of debris.
Oh. Thought he was going to run down and join a pit crew. All right, Larry boy.
All right, 43 cars, 250 laps, 133 miles. This little deal here we talk a lot about. Not a big issue here. 170 laps you can go on fuel.
I don't think so.
There's a
lot of things going to give out, but it ain't going to be the fuel, I can tell you that.
Talked about the keyword trouble, keyword survival.
Survival of the fittest.
All right, let's go.
I like being on that front row. I know that. You can see it too.
Pace car in, and Riggs grabs a gear after hanging back a little bit. He's going to lead him down toward turn 1. Jeff Green right with him.
And, of course, nobody's been able to run on the outside practicing, but watch this. What you'll do is if you want to pass anybody, you might get up on that outside. Not going to be very friendly for a while, but it's got to come in sooner or later.
Not much rubber down up there. See Kevin Harvick in the 29 car. He's up there right now.
They blew the track off there after Winston Cup practice, so there's not a lot. Oh, got Casey Kane is around on the back straightaway into the wall.
Straightens it out.
A lot of cars had to go to the apron, no caution.
And as you can see behind him, it bottlenecks everything up. He had to get out of the throttle. Everybody's got to slow down.
But right now, Scott Riggs, the leader's in the middle of 3 and 4. The back of the group's in turn 1.
They just start so many cars here that there's about 10 cars too many here. Watch this.
98 is Kane.
Comes off the corner on the outside. It's loose out there anyway. He got a little bit of a run off the top there. Got it in the wall. Now everybody behind him was just stacking up, trying to keep running into him.
Well, Jeff Green in that 21, he's all over the back of the car he was driving here a year ago. 10 car.
More on Jeff Green. Here's Matt.
Mike, right before they threw the green flag, Jeff Green's crew chief, Butch Hilton, reminded him, remember, we are starting on very low air pressure like we did at the end of the final practice session as we have a lead change. He said, remember, we are starting on low pressure, so take it easy over the first 5 to 7 laps. Just ride. And now he's gone to the front.
Well, he took it easy for 4 and then took the lead from Riggs.
Yeah, those first 3 have pulled out. You know, they're up there by themselves, not any pressure from behind. That was a smart thing for Riggs to do. Let them go.
Kevin Harvick's going to pick up the 9th spot, moving underneath Bobby Hamilton Jr.
Got a car around here, 84. Here he is off turn 4.
And turn 2, another one. McMurray goes around.
Oh, and he's coming right back up in the racetrack.
Caution is on the speedway.
Holy cow.
You find the back end of Lyndon Amick's car stove in after that one.
You're still wrecking over off turn 4.
Oh, the 63 found it. Ken Alexander, as well as the 44.
44, he got trapped up there and couldn't go anywhere. He had to just run into the back of the 63 car.
And that's the reason normally a 1-car spin ends up about a 5, 6, 7 car accident here.
Worst damage is on the back of the 26 stopped along the front straightaway. Lyndon Amick, somebody piled into the back of him.
The nose pretty good, Kenneth. All right, then if you get called up, we'll come in and look at it.
Ken Alexander's team. And there is Amick's car.
Oh, that was the big hurt.
Don't raise the hood unless you have to, because you won't be able to get it back down.
We'll pick this up and show you what happened here.
We had so many cars spinning out, we can't get all of them.
One car around by himself.
That's the 84 car off turn 4 here. Now, while we're watching this, over on the back straightaway, the car gets around.
That's Brian Weber. They
the same car there. He gets around on the front here, pushes the barrier out of the way.
Then as people checked up, the big wreck ended up down in turn 2. I didn't see who got in the back of Lyndon Amick or whether that was spinning up into the wall.
It looks like he must have backed it in the wall, or we'll be able to find who did that.
Yeah, right.
And they just got to start working on his car on pit road because he was at the back of the pack. He's already went a lap down sitting on pit road.
There's a clue, Darrell. The front end of Kevin LePage's car is pretty well torn up. Now, the front end damage to Ken Alexander that they're repairing right there, that happened after Lyndon Amick crashed. Going to readjust the barrier. That's why pit road is closed for now.
But if you have a lot of damage, come on to pit road and get it fixed, because the penalties go to the tail end of the longest line, which is way back in this field.
That's why LePage is on pit road as well as Alexander. We're under caution early.
Imagine that.
Working the first caution of the day came out of lap 8 when Brian Weber spun out of turn 4, and then a wreck ensued here at turn 2. Now here's turn 4, Weber going around and into the barrier at the head end of pit road. Here's what happened up at turn 2.
Looked like Amick almost was going to run into the car in front of him. He checked up, and the 27 car, McMurray, got into the back of him and turned him up into the fence.
What's behind you?
Now you're riding with Alexander.
Slow down. Come on, keep going. Come on.
What happened to him is his engine died.
Right.
It's after getting into the back of Mike Harmon there.
He comes sliding up there to a stop and killed the engine and had the roof fired.
Pat?
Well, Mike, earlier this week at the 60-team shop, one of the people in the office opened up a letter and out popped a flat Stanley. It originated from Tyler Ford, Lincoln Elementary in Illinois. It's bebopped around the country and ended up at the 60 shop. So for good luck, they decided to put it on the dash of Greg Biffle's Ford. The only problem is, if he wins today, they might want to take it to Texas with him for good luck as well.
Flat Stanley. Okay.
Is this like a chain letter thing?
Am I the only one that don't know what that is?
No, I'll raise my hand too.
It must be some sort of project.
Yeah.
School project, I would assume.
We'll get letters.
I'm sure next week we'll have flat Stanleys on our forehead, probably. We're going to have one to go with the line here.
We'll put in a 4th headset for flat Stanley. 1 to go. Jeff Green leading Jason Keller, who both passed Scott Riggs at lap 5. Jimmy Spencer 4th. There's Lyndon Amick's damaged car.
Wave it off.
Wave off the restart. There'll be another lap or so before we go back to green.
I know about Arthur and DW, but I don't know about flat Stanley.
Back under green with Jeff Green out front. Jason Keller, Scott Riggs, Jimmy Spencer, Stacy Compton, the top 5. Boy, Stacy Compton has really turned around that 59 team in the Busch Series. He's had great wins all season.
He's been good every week. Qualifying good, racing good.
Right now, Michael Waltrip, the 9.
Whoa, straight away.
Our points leader.
And it's Keller, and now it's Michael Waltrip, and it's Compton, and it's
Johnny
the
Sauter.
2-car.
And
where did it all begin? The 63.
Lap traffic.
I don't know that...
That's you're riding with Michael straight into the garage.
I tell you what, I wish we hadn't said anything about Stacy Compton. He is killed.
Now,
Michael killed him.
Yep. Look at that car. That car's flatter than Stanley.
Yeah. Stacy took a pretty good shot in the left rear there.
Now I'll hear about this when I get home, but Flat Stanley is a children's book character. There's a series of books about Stanley, and people take them and mail them all, write stories about mailing them all over the country and all over the world. Well, here's what happened. There's the lap car 63 on the inside. Jeff Green makes it past. Here comes Keller. Oh, right up in front of the leader.
Yeah.
And when you're lap traffic here, it just you can't get out of the way fast enough. They're coming up on you so fast.
Damn.
It's a shame.
Boy, Michael just really laid it into Stacy there. 2-car went around. We didn't need that.
Riding along with Johnny Sauter. Underneath Ashton Lewis.
Clear.
Mind his own business. Here's him.
One on the front. Got one on the front.
Oh.
Hang on. We're still all right. Whoa. Come on. Get on the brake.
He slid right through there.
Yeah, did you hear his spotter? Let him. You know, he's telling him how to drive.
That's Mike Dillon, Richard Childress' son-in-law.
That explains it.
That's it. Used to drive the 59 car.
At least he didn't say, oh, no, that time.
Michael Waltrip.
Back her down.
Whoops. And Michael did, and Sauter couldn't get to the brake quick enough.
And I can't tell you, that's what happens to you. You see the wreck. You slow down, but the guy behind you pile drives you like that right there.
See the wreck? Be the wreck.
In the wreck.
This is what you're talking about, Darrell, about having to drive behind your own
guy
car.
Behind you got to know that the guy behind you is, you got to have room between you and the guy behind you so this doesn't happen. Pretty hard to do early in the race when you're single file like this, but that's the whole situation.
Jason Keller has gone to the garage. He was the point leader. He was the second place car. And a lap car jumped up in front of him and effectively took him out. Stacy Compton was running 5th. He's had a great season going. Now he is behind there on pit road as well. Steve?
Yeah, Mike, Johnny Sauter, the big problem they have is they're afraid there's sheet metal rubbing the tires. So Ricky Byers' crew making sure there are no rubs on that number 2 car. Let's go to Matt.
And Steve, they've taken the 57 car of Jason Keller behind the wall. They've gotten the radiator. They were hoping it was just cosmetic damage on the right front, but they've gotten the radiator. They pulled it behind the wall. Tough break for the point leader. We've seen that so many times here at Bristol. Dale Jarrett in the past, Jeff Gordon in the past. This can be a tough place.
Trying to fix Michael Waltrip's car. Kevin LePage from the first caution flag is behind the wall. They're trying to make repairs to his car. Meanwhile, the 63 of Ken Alexander, who started all this, comes back on the racetrack. We'll be right back. That hot damaged radiator's out of Jason Keller's car. As the point leader, they've got to get him back in. Scott Riggs' crew helping as well. But they're going to restart this race without him and without Stacy Compton, who is behind the wall. Compton came in here well up as well, 11th in the points. Now it's Green, Riggs, Spencer, Wallace, and McLaughlin. Bent trailing arm on the left rear of Stacy Compton's car, going to put him behind the wall for some time, making that repair.
You know, it's early in the race. You want to try to fix the car as good as you can, but just remember, they're going around here at about 16 seconds. It just takes a lot of laps to change anything.
But if you can get your car repaired and get back out there, I'm sure there's going to be others that'll be torn up as well, and some of them worse than his. It just seems to go that way here. Sometimes you have a race here and it's just kind of clean and green, and other times it's just one caution right after another.
Well, we got a battle here for fourth. That's Mike McLaughlin in the 18 car all over the back of Kenny Wallace in the 48. I talked to Mike this morning. He was very pleased with his car at happy hour yesterday.
Got Kevin Harvick right with him.
And Kenny Wallace is not, Kenny knows this is a 350 lap race. If these guys get to pressure him too much, you watch what he does.
He knows how to finish this thing. Top 5 finishes in both races last year here at Bristol.
When people start hounding you and beating on your back bumper here, you got to let them. You got to get them out behind you.
Kevin Harvick, of course, his teammate Johnny Sauter in the 2 asked Johnny this morning. I said, "Is this the car that Kevin won with here in August?" He said, "Oh no, Kevin has that car. That's his little baby."
Leaders again begin to negotiate lap traffic.
I mean, that just shows you how quick you get around this racetrack. You start lapping cars 3 to 4 laps after a restart.
Working on Michael Waltrip's car behind the wall, Steve.
Yeah, they're trying to assess the damage by crew chief Bobby Kennedy. They're going to have to cut a lot of sheet metal away off the right front corner of this number 99 car for Michael Waltrip. The Sawzall is in use now. They're going to cut away the sheet metal. They're trying to ascertain whether or not they have any rubbing going on. At the very least, they're going to lose a lot of laps here on behind pit road.
Waltrip, Stacy Compton caught up in an accident not of their making when a lap car got in front of Jason Keller.
And cutting sheet metal away at Bristol is not a bad thing. I used to tell my guys in the meeting before the race, if we get in trouble, we have to cut metal away. You cut as much away as you can. We don't want it to cause us another problem.
Jimmy Spencer had closed right up on Scott Riggs. Now Riggs has a little bit of breathing room.
He was happy with his car yesterday in happy hour. In fact, he quit happy hour early, which is sometimes not a bad thing either here at Bristol.
Yeah, Riggs' car seems to have settled down now, and he's starting to look a little better through the turns. He was real loose to start with. Could have been low air pressure.
Product of low air pressure, yeah. I'm sure, because you gain so much air pressure here over a long run, the car will get like a basketball bouncing up and down.
Wow, now that was close. The lap car of Mike Harmon was high, Ken Alexander was low, and these drivers had to snake their way between the two of them. And that allowed for a little bit of bumper tack. 3 wide there in turn 2. Just wasn't enough room for Casey Mears to go up on the outside of the lap car.
I just can't see how that 63 car can stay out there.
Well,
I mean, they're running around here so fast, there's just no way for Ken Alexander to get out of the way. And I think you finally reach a point, you're so slow, you just need to get off the racetrack.
Hey, you pick up debris on your tires, and you can never get going again. You can't get back in that rhythm that we're always talking about.
Right there.
Mike Harmon has brought his car to pit road.
And the problem that you face here all the time is the constant pressure of the leader is coming.
Trouble turn 2. Around goes Casey Kane, and what happened there, he got his left tires down on the flat, and then bounced up and into harm's way. Cautions out.
Speedway.
3rd one today.
I tell you, we're on record pace here for cautions. Now, you'd say, why didn't Spencer go on by, which he could have, but you always have a gentleman's agreement that when the caution comes out, you hold your position.
Yeah, I you slid left front.
I know he'd like to have passed him, but that would not be fair.
Good job on left front. That front smoked a little bit.
Smoke out of Ron Hornaday's car. What happened there?
Well, I don't know. I don't see anything rubbing. It looks like it's coming out from under the rear end there.
Ricky Hendrick, his shoulder on the mend. So Hornaday doing relief duty there. 5 car. There it goes.
The 98 car, he had trouble in practice and wrecked his car, and I think that's a backup car, isn't it, Larry?
I think they actually tried to fix the other car. Yeah, they did fix it.
Oh, he's all the way down on the apron. The 98 is. Slides back up on the racetrack in order to keep out of the 16 car there. He just spins it around.
It's Chad Chafin in the 16 car. Just can't get too far down on that asphalt apron because it's definitely different degree of banking than the actual racing surface.
You get one to handle down there, you got a pretty good handle.
It's a tight radius.
That's right.
2 of our point leaders remain behind the wall, Jason Keller and Stacy Compton, along with Michael Waltrip and Kevin LePage. We are under caution for the 3rd time early in the going here at Bristol.
Welcome back on FX Sunday, March 31st. FX presents an original movie, Big Shot, Confessions of a Campus Bookie, based on the true story of the college basketball point-shaving scandal that shocked the entire country. That's Sunday, March 31st, 8 Eastern and Pacific on FX. Back in the Hollywood Hotel, Ryan Newman with Jeff Hammond. As you see the position of the race cars. Already 3 cautions. We have a car out of the race, 2 different leaders, and this is the caution capital of the world.
It's Bristol, guys. I'm telling you right now, whenever they get into this kind of a pushing, shoving, quick racetrack, lap traffic's already been a problem. This is just the MO of Bristol, am I right?
Yeah, you look at somebody like Johnny Sauter, who's got a pretty decent race car, but he got shuffled there in the back, was involved in one of those incidents, and just before that last yellow there, he was in jeopardy of going a lap down, and you can have a good race car, but track position is so important.
And you can see the mark on the wall already. 7 former Bristol Busch Series winners competing today, 11 drivers in their first Bristol Busch Series race. Right now, let's go down to Matt Yoakum trackside.
Well, Chris, Scott Ricks climbed up to 2nd from 3rd. How is your race car now, Harold?
Just a little free in right now. Right now, we're just trying to wait for some green flag left so we can get kind of settled into our space and see what our balance is going to be like. Everything's okay. Just people get impatient here in a hurry, you know.
Now, you ran down to the 1 pit to deliver a message. What was the message?
Well, we turned in on Jimmy just a little bit there, and I want him to know we didn't do it on purpose. Things just happen so fast here. You don't want nobody getting impatient with you this early in the race. The more you communicate with people, the better off you are, and we're just trying to keep ourselves out of trouble.
The wrong smoke signals here at Bristol can lead to disaster. Chris?
All right, Jason Keller, of course, the points leader by a dozen over Greg Biffle, running into the back of Ken Alexander, Stacy Compton, a number of others involved. That is Bristol Racing. We'll be back here live on FX to continue in just a moment. FX welcomes you back to the NASCAR Busch Series in Bristol, Tennessee, and you see the crew cleaning up after our 3rd caution already. Still under caution, Jeff Green leading and looking for his first Bristol win ever. Took the lead on the lap 6. We'll be back with more of the action from Bristol in a moment.
Here they come for the restart. Jeff Green out in front. Jason Keller is back in the race. So is Stacy Compton.
Michael Waltrip, Kevin LePage as well. So really about everybody's back out there except for Ron Hornaday in that group.
That 98 car is a lap down car. He started on the inside up there and jumped up in between Green and now Spencer.
And what's happening to Riggs right now, the 10 car, he's being freight trained. The open door on the bottom pushed him to the high side. He needs to get back down to the bottom. He'll do it here in 3 and 4.
I think that what we heard from the crew chief, Harold Holly, I'm not so sure that wasn't like a payback. I'll let you back. Yep. I cut you off. I'm sorry. I'll let you back. Because you don't want Jimmy Spencer mad at you 50 laps in the race.
Not at Bristol.
Not at Bristol.
Not with 200 to go. That's way too much. One car, Ashton Lewis, almost scraped the wall in 3, but continues.
He was running up in he was in 13th place there when that happened.
Sure are a lot of almosts here.
This is not a race
for the final call. Clear.
No.
You have to be quite a bit faster to somebody here to actually pass them. You'd be a couple of tenths faster, and it's just hard to get by them because they're protecting the bottom of that racetrack.
You know how you pass them? You get them looking in that rearview mirror. As soon as they look back to see where you are, you give them a little nudge and you go right under. Because a little nudge here will scare you to death. I mean, it'll just take your breath away because you don't know if you're going to catch it or not.
Kevin Harvick has moved up to 4th. Here's the battle for 5th, Kenny Wallace. And looking back at Mike McLaughlin. Harvick goes after Riggs and takes 3rd.
With these, he's got a pretty good little hot rod there. Do you see him gas that thing and fly by?
I love to watch Kevin Harvick run this racetrack. He was 2 laps down in August. Got those 2 laps back, came back to win the race.
Boy, he did. He got them back in fine fashion, too. He took them back. They took them away. He took them back.
Harvick's only run 4 Busch races here. He's won 2 of them and led 3 of them. And all 3 races that he led here, he led the most laps.
And what I like there, when he gets to you, he don't mess with you.
Yeah.
You give him away or he's going to take the way.
But, you know, he's aggressive, but he's fair about it. I mean, he doesn't take you out of the race. He doesn't knock you out of the race. He just gets your attention.
Conveyor belt of cars. Endless line.
Zoom, 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 zoom.
It's hard to tell which is worse, the traffic.
Oh, here we go. Here goes one around.
Turn 2, Vickers. Oh.
They're all going to pile up over here trying to get wound up.
Right in front of the leaders.
Michael spun. Caution is out at lap 65. For Brian Vickers' spin in turn 2.
Jeff Purvis in the 37 car. He's all the way down on the apron trying to get his lap back. That's legal. I believe he's going to do it.
Oh, he's going to. Yeah, he is. He's going to make it.
Okay, you got it. Good job. He was all the way against the infield.
Yeah, I was afraid he was going to pick up so much debris on his tires that he wouldn't be able to come on forward, but he made it. All that loose rubber and stuff gets on those hot tires, and it's just like having 4 flat tires.
Puts us under the 4th caution.
Look at all this stuff. I mean, we've run 50 laps. They blew this track before the race started. All this is just debris and rubber off of the tires.
And during this caution period, Darrell, they're going to get the blowers out again.
It's incredible how much rubber and debris collects there in just a short period of time. And it keeps you from using the outside lane. You get up there and, like I said, you got hot tires. That stuff sticks to your tires, and it's like they're all flat.
And even though we ran 66 laps, I still don't expect to see anybody to pit road because we've ran about 35 of those under caution.
Here's another look. Ooh, a little help.
Yes. And that's what they can see, just what we can see.
Yeah, Hank Jr. looked like got into, and again, into Brian Vickers. From Ashton Lewis.
Nice job, man. Nice job. Keep digging. Come on. Come to the flag.
So it is the 4th of what could be many cautions here in the NASCAR Busch Series at Bristol, Tennessee. Jeff Green, your leader.
NASCAR Busch Series Racing on FX is brought to you by Sweet Busch Beer and Easy Drinking Busch Light. Busch, the proud sponsor of the NASCAR Busch Series.
Vegas. Welcome back to Bristol, where we are under caution. They are blowing debris from the racetrack, and here it's just tire debris as those tires wear against the concrete surface of this racetrack.
And look at the crowd. I mean, we got, what, 100,000 people here today? This place is packed for a 250-lap Busch race.
And tomorrow is a sellout. I believe the earliest sellout among all the races on the Winston Cup circuit is the August race here, and this one's pretty close.
And I'm glad you mentioned that. I want to tell all my friends, I wasn't kidding you when you said, can I get you tickets to Bristol? No, not for the next 10 years.
Let's get out of pit road.
Mike, as I said when the race started, Randy LaJoie and his crew chief Wally Rogers threw a lot at this car this morning. They changed springs, shocks, sway bar, and a gear. They also found a problem with the lower control arm on the right side. It was actually hitting the chassis. But having said all that, Randy started 21st. Now he's up to 10th. We also found out this morning, talking to Wally Rogers, they're contemplating running 4 Winston Cup races, the second Talladega race, and perhaps Chicago and Loudon. Let's go to Chris Meyer.
All right, we've gone to 70 laps. We already have 4 cautions. The record here, by the way, Busch raced 14 cautions in a race with Ryan Newman and Jeff Hammond. At Darlington, when they went in, they got tires in their pit stops. Why not here?
I'm telling you, because of track position. You've got to have good track position. Tires don't wear that bad here, and believe it or not, if you can't stamp at the front, and Ryan, I think will tell you, you get back in the back, you're going to get caught up on one of these melees on the racetrack.
It's amazing. It just says so much about a concrete surface versus the asphalt at Darlington. You know, this is the same tire we're running, but we're not wearing the tire out. And at the same time, this pit road is so tight here. You can't afford to get caught in there. You can't afford to get bent in a fender. You can't afford to get just stuck in your pit box because you'll lose 4 or 5 spots, and that's 5 seconds on the racetracks.
Ryan, you told us in the pre-race show you finished in the top 10 twice here in Busch races. Real quick, what happened in those races for allow you early in a race to survive towards the end?
Just keeping your nose clean. I mean, we had a couple instances in the Busch races here last year where we did get caught in the pits. I remember getting caught behind Kenny Wallace a couple times, and you just kind of got to sit there and wait. You can throw the thing in reverse and try to back up, but it's more important to be patient, sit there and wait, and follow Kenny Wallace out of the pits, in my instance.
All right, under our 4th caution, the race will continue. Who knows what we'll see or how many more caution flags. The Busch Series on FX, back in a moment.
Green flag, all clear.
Back underway in the Channellock 250 at Bristol. Jeff Green out in front of Jimmy Spencer, Kevin Harvick, Scott Riggs, Kenny Wallace, Mike McLaughlin, Scott Wimmer, and Greg Biffle. Jeff Purvis got back on the lead lap as they came across.
Trouble right here.
Turn 4.
27 car went up on top of the 2 car, almost turned over.
And Butch Miller there in the 75 car, this all happened in front of him. He just spun trying to avoid it. We're
no
still
caution.
green flag.
No caution, which is probably a good thing.
Jimmy Spencer took over the lead as all that happened.
Well, I'm thinking they were probably hollering there was going to be a caution, and there wasn't because it looked like there was going to be.
It had all the makings of a caution.
Oh, yeah, it should have been a caution. Could have been a caution. I don't know about should have been.
Look at Harvick. He's on the inside. 21. Jeff Green just takes the inside position. Takes over second.
Harvick's got the best hot rod out there right now. He's just driving on right to the front. Oh, and watch this down here in this corner now. This is a Bristol. This is Bristol stomp right here. He just stomped this car. Watch this. It goes up on that, back in the back right there. That 27 car climbed up on top of the 2 car.
See, Butch Miller's 3 or 4 car lengths behind it. He got hit in the back and got turned around as well.
And I looked up at 27, was about to turn over.
And then somebody got in the back of Butch Miller, somebody who didn't see the accident as quickly as Miller did, and there it's the 16, Chad Chapin, that turns Miller around.
Well, the spotters all holler, slow down, caution, caution. You slow down and get hit from behind.
Kevin Harvick has caught Jimmy Spencer with Berggren.
Well, Kevin Harvick has got one of his very favorite cars. It's a car he calls the Punisher. Darrell, you're right. He's got a good one today. This is the car he won the majority of his races with last year. But they've got to take care of this car. We're going to call it to Welcome North Carolina tonight, immediately after this race. Try to turn it around in 24 hours. The goal, head for Texas on Sunday night so that they can test Texas Motor Speedway early next week.
Jimmy Spencer almost climbed up the back of 63, Ken Alexander, putting him another lap down.
And guys, I'm going to go here.
Here we go.
Off this racetrack.
Kerry Earnhardt has caught the 77.
This could be really big.
Come on, we'll beat that leader. Come on.
Oh.
People trying to get their lap back. What a mess.
I've never seen it. This is the wildest race I've ever seen in Bristol. And I've seen a lot of races here.
Hank Parker Jr. got into that one. He had made a pit stop for fuel just at the end of the last caution, and now he's got a lot of right front damage on Hank Jr.'s car.
These guys are running over each other every which way they turn.
There's a little bit of a rub on.
Do not do nothing to the right tire. Just leave the car alone. Put the 4 new tires on.
Listening to Kenny Wallace.
And we're 83 laps into this run right here. A lot of it's been under caution. But if they pitted here, you could go to the end, and I'm not sure I would get in there and be done with it.
I'm coming in right now. The only problem I got is all this traffic I'm going to have to deal with, and that's where all the trouble is.
Gary Earnhardt got underneath the 77 of Andy Kirby. Around she went.
And around and around. Got hooked together. Tried to loan him $1.
And here's what happened to Jimmy Spencer. Get under. There's the 63. Spencer almost got it around sideways, trying to get underneath him.
Lost his momentum. And
then Riggs booted the back of the 26 car at the same time, trying to get around him. Well,
okay, here's our pit road procedure.
I think they all heard you there. Most of the leaders are coming in.
Oh, yeah, it's a good time.
This would get you to the end of the race, and the way it's been going, more laps to run under caution on the green. Dick Berger.
Kevin Harvick is going to take 4 tires, no adjustments to this race car, and is running absolutely perfectly. The over-the-wall crew, same guys that pit his Winston Cup car, right front tire changer, just slipped. That's Greg Burkhardt. To Matt.
Dick, they've already made a track bar adjustment on Jeff Green's number 21. He said the car was good on exit, but it was free on entry as Big Mike Sears drops the jack, and Green is down and away.
Jeff Green leads them off pit road. Harvick, Riggs, Wallace, Biffle, and Spencer.
And Mike McLaughlin in the 18 car, they elected to stay out. And you know, I just hate getting that much off sequence here from the leaders as far as your pit sequence.
Here's the thing. If he stays out long enough, and he can stay out a long time because a lot of these laps run under caution, when he does finally pit, he's going to have fresher tires, but he's going to have time to work his way by all the lead cars.
Because if we restart this race at 10th, it's like we're starting at 20th with the lap cars.
However, the way things have been going, by the time he does stop, there won't be that many lead cars left to pass.
That's right.
We'll see how it shakes out. Mike McLaughlin, our leader, did not pit. Johnny Sauter, the second-place car, pitted earlier. Then it's Mark Green in third place as we get set to go green.
And Mark Green will have the freshest tires because he's on pit road the last caution at lap 64.
So that's the game you play now, front to back, front to back. When to pit, and where are you going to end up at the end of the day?
Fourth-place car, Nashville's Joe Buford. And Hank Parker Jr. gone behind the pit wall for some repairs.
And there'll be some impatient guys that are in fast hot rods like Jimmy Spencer and some others trying to work their way back to the front.
For more on those pit stops, here's Matt.
The car chief for Jimmy Spencer's yellow number 1 is Johnny Allen. Johnny, how's your race car?
We got a good race car. We got some damage over there, but we should be pretty good to go to the end. He said the car was driving good, so we didn't make no adjustments. Just hope we get through all this traffic without no problems.
He came in 5th, went out 12th to Steve Burns.
Well, Matt, Greg Biffle started this race in the 18th position. He's moved his way cautiously up into 11th. They didn't make any chassis adjustments on that last stop. Biffle saying he's just a little bit tight, but they haven't run that many green flag laps. They did make any adjustments. Dick Berger.
Despite the fact that front tire changer Greg Burkhardt slipped and fell on that pit stop, Kevin Harvick had a 16-second pit stop. They measured the tires when the stop was all done and over with. It showed that there was just a little bit of a loose condition in the car. Nothing to worry about. He's got a terrific race car today.
Thanks, Dick. Brian Vickers holding on to 4th, and Joe Buford, who also did not make a pit stop, the 5th-place car. Then the cars who pitted, the first of those is Jeff Green, number 21.
I raced against Joe's dad, Fluky Buford. He's from Nashville there. He was a track champion.
As was his son, Joe.
Son is too.
Todd Bodine in the 92 car. This is a battle for 18th.
We've actually got them sorted out almost here, almost into single file again.
Well, it took us 95 laps and 5 cautions to do it.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're at lap 95 now. About half those are under caution. Mike McLaughlin in the 18, he's leading this race. His last lap was just a 16:03. Jeff Green back there fighting traffic on pressure tires. He can only run like a 16:12. But it won't be long before Mike McLaughlin will be in the lap traffic. That's where the difference comes on those older tires.
Ron Hornaday returns to the race. That will leave only Brad Teague, Mike Harmon, and Brad Baker in the garage area.
Hey, we might be on to something here, boys. I think we've been about 10 or 12 laps here and hadn't had a caution. We might be able to get this thing sorted out and get a little racing under our belts.
we see Jeff Green in the 21, Kevin Harvick in the 29. This is 5th and 6th. This is the guys that has the fresher tires. This is the position they're in right now as they come up on Brian Vickers right now, who's in the 4th position in the 40 car. This is a good run for Brian Vickers, you know, regardless of strategy. Came up.
Oh, turn one, Larry. One around. That's the 19 of Tim Sutter. He got sent into the fence, and caution will come out again. You were saying?
Yeah. No, Darrell was saying this is the longest run we've had.
Well, it still is. It just, Miggy.
All right. A couple cars trying to get a lap back, and Jeff Purvis, I think, came up short that time.
Yeah, even when the caution comes out, excitement don't stop for about another minute.
They just keep on coming. I can't tell whether they're going into pits, coming out of the pit, they're on the apron, they're everywhere.
Purvis did not quite make it past race leader Mike McLaughlin. The 19 up into the wall at turn 2, Tim Sauter. I didn't see who put him there, but he got special delivered into the wall, back in first.
And Darrell,
should we just cue up TROUBLE again? What do you think?
Darrell, here's a replay of this, what happened over there.
Yeah, he got turned around by the 66 car.
Casey Mears. And this is the strategy you hate as a crew chief. Now, Mike McLaughlin, we're at lap 100, but it's like he's almost already committed to this strategy.
Yeah.
I still don't think he can come to pit road with 22 cars on the lead lap.
No, I'd wait. But the next caution, which will be in about 12 laps.
Close to halfway.
12 or 15 laps.
You can tell the way he's scrubbing his tires right there. Johnny Sauter in the 2, he elects to come to pit road, give up that second place position. But McLaughlin stays out. 30 miles an hour around pit road here. Nick Berggren.
All right, I'm down here in the 18 pit with crew chief Tim Shutt. Everybody else pitted. You guys didn't. Why?
Well, last time we pitted too soon here last year in the fall, and it kind of bit us. We kind of wanted to see how the car was out front. You run about 150 laps here on tires. Right now we're running the fastest laps we've run all day, so hopefully this strategy will work a little bit better than last year's did.
Wait a minute, faster laps on old tires than new tires?
It's all about getting your driver in a rhythm. Right now Mike's locked down in a pretty good rhythm.
All right, that's the story on Mike McLaughlin's pit.
Former national modified champ leads this race. He's the 5th different leader after Scott Riggs, Jimmy Spencer, Jeff Green, Kevin Harvick.
Magic shoes.
Yes. Kerry Earnhardt.
Boy, Bradshaw's not going to be happy about this.
I've had a good weekend.
He's going to have to do some more commercials to pay for that.
That buck will buy some stop leak. Now let's play the music.
Oh, no.
I know the answer has to be something to do with Harry Gant.
Yeah, it's Harry Gant. Pep Boys Trivia. Who is the last driver to win his first Busch pole and race in the same weekend? I think I know. How does Kevin Harvick sound?
Sounds like a pretty good chance.
How about it, Hammond? Have you got a guess?
No, not really, guys. If I had to guess, maybe Jack Ingram.
Okay. Yeah, Jack Ingram. That's another good guess.
I still say Harry Gant.
Jason Keller, would that be a guess?
Yeah. All right, come on, let us have it. Chip Fuller! All right,
another. The way Hammond and them cheat down there.
I thought surely Hammond would have the right answer.
Fuller was Rookie of the Year in the '96 season.
I guarantee you Hammond was thumbing through that guide as fast as he could go, but he couldn't find it.
I'm just not sure about old Bradshaw's car. It looks like stick me with a fork, I'm done.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to get one to go here.
10-10-9-1-1.
Yeah, right. All right, McLaughlin the leader. Mark Green in second. Brad Aikens, number 38. Jeff Green, youngest of the 3 racing brothers, third. Brian Vickers. What would you remember more 20 years from now? Your high school prom or that you got to run up front at Bristol?
Unfortunately, I was at Nashville racing on my prom too, so. Mark Green, of course, Christian Elder normally drives the 38 car, but he's been consulting that race team, so since Christian Elder only had X amount of races to run, they put Mark Green in this car for Darlington last week, and here at Bristol, here he's sitting in second place, and fairly fresh tires on that car.
There he is inside of Casey Kane. Pace car drops off. Pace car's led a lot of laps today.
Heck, this guy in Bristol just walked in the booth here.
Green flag, green flag.
Jeff Bird, who runs this place.
Back under green, and McLaughlin scoops away.
He knows those older tires. He better get all the jump he can here. That's the reason he's running faster laps. He's out front.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, aerodynamics doesn't mean anything, but being out front in clean air certainly doesn't hurt anything.
Kevin Harvick in that 29, he jumps under Brian Vickers in that 40 car. This is a battle for fourth.
Ooh, and he's got to be holding his breath right
there.
Ooh,
All over Casey Kane in the 98 lap car. He ain't waste no time with it, though. He has got a fast race car.
Oh, yeah.
Said that
where he's fast at is in the middle of the corner like we were talking
He rotates, he will pick that throttle up and stay in it.
Mats it right in the middle of the corner, really gets a jump off the corner.
Brian Vickers is stuck on the...
So here we go, round again.
Turn 2.
Everybody
Bradford is in it with Jack Sprague.
And caution is on the Speedway again. That flag was about to change.
And guess who else is in it?
Not again.
Hadn't missed one yet.
Yeah, the leader's already taken the caution. Jeff Purvis in the 37 thought he was going to try to get a lap back, but they had already taken the caution flag.
Now that is a tough break for Joe Buford, who also was on the long run strategy and had been running in the top 10. He got caught up in that with Jack Sprague.
Well, I said this once before and got in trouble, but I'm going to say it again. 3 strikes and you're out. I mean, if you're hitting 3 wrecks.
Now, Buford had bounced off the wall, and that kind of caught everybody else up back behind him. And Jack Sprague just got there before he could change direction.
You know, guys, I know it's a 250-lap race, and these cars can run 180 laps on fuel, but I guess enough caution laps, 3 cautions in the green, you make it go the distance.
I believe you could make it.
Here we are. Watch the black car of Buford.
Sprague, I believe, in the
Sprague shoved up into him. That's who it was, yeah. Sprague shoved up into the 49 Buford and turned him around.
You mentioned Jeff Bird. As here Sprague comes in, who runs this place. He should be a happy guy. Most sporting events in America would be thrilled with this crowd. 110,000 people are here today.
Wow.
For this Saturday race.
More than any Super Bowl, more than any World Series. And tomorrow, 150,000 people, and they'll be standing for most of the day.
And when we come back next year, that whole back grandstand over there is going to be replaced. Wow. And then they'll hold how many?
We'll be seeing action like that. Twice the lead.
165,000 next year.
Goodness. A whole lot of spinning going on. I think that was a hit song.
A whole lot of shaking going on.
That's what it was.
Come on, baby. A whole lot of shaking going on.
Mike McLaughlin on that long run strategy will lead them down for the restart at lap 114. Mark Green, Jeff Green, Kevin Harvick, pole sitter Scott Riggs, Greg Biffle, Jimmy Spencer, Brian Vickers.
This reminds me of those radio shows I used to listen to, and the hits just keep on coming.
It's not funny.
We ready?
Here we go.
Ready. Green flag, green flag, green flag.
Jeff Purvis, who did not get his lap back on that last run to the caution, is lined up right behind McLaughlin to give him he has a little breathing room, but Purvis is going to want that lap back.
And Purvis has fresh tires. He made a pit stop over there. He got that lap back and then made a pit stop and lost it. So I think that's a fairly good indicator of the tire situation because he's on a little better tires and McLaughlin's able to hold him off.
See, actually, right now, Jeff Purvis is 2 laps down. He needs to get 2 laps back. If he can get 1 back, though, right now there's only 19 cars on the lead lap.
Well, he pulled up beside Mike McLaughlin.
Whoa, turn 2.
Here we go.
Scott Boomer.
Tony Raines spins, gets in the back of Johnny Sauter. He has to feel like he has a bullseye on that car.
Oh,
caution's out.
Caution's out.
McLaughlin slowed down. Don't pull up in front of those guys.
Keep digging, Stanford.
All right, Purvis is going to get 1 of his laps back now.
Oh, well, he's got a great chance of getting all his laps back because there's going to be enough cautions that you get a shot at it all the time.
We're lap 117. We ran 51 laps under caution.
I see the 2 car over there of Johnny Sauter. He's got some smoke, like he got some damage that time.
Yeah, he got into it pretty heavy there, Darrell.
There you see Tony Raines in the 33 just spinning because he's trying to avoid Scott Webber 23 and just clipped Johnny Sauter in the 2.
Let's watch from Johnny Sauter's onboard camera. Shane Hill alongside.
Oh, yeah, he hit the 33. That's what got him around, and the 33 got him again.
Outside. Come on around. Come on.
Mike Dillon, his spotter, he's been one of the busiest guys here today as well.
Well, let's see. The last wreck took the left rear quarter off of Sauter's car.
That thing is, look at that thing.
It has the Bristol look to it.
It's like a demolition car. He's not out of it yet, as long as it'll roll.
What's that thing Humpy had? Carasaurus? Carasaurus looks like it's eaten that and spit it out.
Look at that thing.
It's a wild one here in Thunder Valley. More in a minute.
And we got paper calculated everywhere. If we have 100 caution laps, 150 green laps, Jeff Hammond, I believe these guys can make it.
Well, I know one thing. If you can make it on, if you can do a 250 lap race here, next race we come here, it'll be a 300 lap race.
And he's definitely in the safest place.
Oh, yeah. I'm where he is.
57 caution laps so far. On the 43 caution laps, what do you think, Jeff?
I'm going to tell you right now, I'm just wondering if there's going to be anybody around to have to worry about gas or not, considering it. Matt, what you got going on there, buddy?
Well, Jeff Green is currently riding in the third position. Butch Hilton, you pitted on lap 84. Are you guys good to go for the distance, or are you going to have to pit again?
I think we're good to go to the distance here. If the tires don't fall off much, I think track position is going to be a lot more important. We haven't run long enough to see if our tires are going to fall off yet. It sure would like to get a little bit of green here and see what the car wants to do. We may pit one more time, but if the car stays under him, we're going to go to the distance right here.
You ready?
And the green flag is out.
Green flag.
You got to be pretty impressed with Mark Green. Look at there. Second place. He's already made his pit stop.
Right, he's good to, we know he's good to go.
Sure, he can go.
But he's going to have a mirror full of Jeff Green here in a second in that 21 car. And Kevin Harvick in the 29.
Our buddy, the 10 car. Riggs is doing a real good job of hanging on to the car and it didn't all beat up, taking care of it. Biffle, he's lurking along there.
Right now, Riggs trying to get by the lap car, 98 of Casey Kane. Top four have cleared all the lap traffic.
Oh, that's where it gets edgy off the 2 over there.
You run out of racetrack.
Yeah, the car comes up just enough where you're not sure if he's going to come on over or not.
I mean, right now, Mike McLaughlin, 126 laps in this thing. He just ran the fastest lap he's run in this race, 15:92. He's out there. He's not having to fight lap traffic. But that says a lot for the tire that Goodyear has brought here.
Well, the harder tires, I love them. Man, I'm telling you, they make racing great. It takes that, that eliminates an equation that we've had to deal with for so long.
And Mark Green in second, 127 laps. He just ran his fastest lap at 15:84.
Well, what does that tell you about that 21 car who's closing up on Mark Green pretty fast?
Scott Riggs gave up a spot to Biffle and then to Spencer.
Yeah, well, that was all about trying to pass that lap car. He got up out of the groove, lost his momentum, lost 2 spots.
Second place, Mark Green pulls over, lets little brother by.
You know what? That was a good move.
Oh, in the wall car, in the wall turn 2, Andy Kirby.
No caution. Boy, he's in a bad spot over there, right on the back straightaway.
And Spencer against the wall.
I think there's some
turn 4.
There might be some fluid down there.
Caution should come out.
Yeah,
now it's out.
No, caution is out. Okay, he beats the leader.
Nobody gets a lap back.
Stay the right front down.
Bam. It looks like something happened. Obviously, something happened to that 77 car.
Now, what does Mike McLaughlin do?
I think he has to pit.
Oh, I think
he's got to come to pit road. How about it, Dick Berggren?
Yeah, you're right. He does have to pit. They didn't have enough fuel in the car to go all the way. The rest of the story is the car is not as good with an empty fuel tank as it is with a full fuel tank. Besides that, the driver needs a drink of water, so he's coming in.
Well, that's all about balance. It's picked up too much nose weight. As it burns off that fuel, it puts more and more weight on the nose. It'll make the car push. Put that fuel back in it, it'll give it better forward bite and take some of that push out of it.
Pit road's open. Andy Kirby will join Brad Baker, Mike Harmon, and Brad Teague behind the wall.
Here's where you come on the pit road over there in turn 2, just like we was talking in the beginning, 30 miles an hour.
3 cars in the box right here to be out.
He will not stop in the backstretch pits. He's still on pit road right here.
Brian Vickers and Todd Bodine also pitting.
This is in turn 3 and 4 out here. Still pit road, still maintaining 30 miles an hour. He's pitting on the front stretch.
You can't pass the pace car. You got to stay even with the pace car. You can pull up to it, but you can't pass it.
10 away.
Since he's got a shorter distance to go than the pace car, he's going to catch up with it.
4, 3, 2.
Shane Westerberg is going to change the front tires. Jake Garderi is on the back. Jeff Fender is the jack man. Gas man is Jim Gilbert. And they just had a tire roll away into another pit. No problem, no foul. They've caught that errant tire. Right side's all done. Now they're all set to go in the left. Pull it out the left front fender a little bit. 15 flat. A great stop for these guys.
Well, it's a good stop.
Jimmy Spencer comes in as well.
That was a very efficient pit stop.
Along with Stacy Compton, who's laps down. There's Spencer. Here's Matt.
Mike, under that caution flag lap, Jimmy Spencer wasn't sure if he had a flat right front or possibly maybe an A-arm was broken, but Johnny Allen just came on the radio and said the right front is down, the right front was down, so they're going to do a 2 and 2. They're going to change right sole end this time and try to come back in and change the left side tires. He's got to back up now because the air hose is right in front of the left tire, and Jimmy's gone. He's going to be coming back in there.
Just how quickly your fortunes can turn here at Bristol. They're running up there fighting for the lead, and next thing you know, you're in trouble.
Andy Kirby going to get a little assist here, maybe? Not quite. Got up into the wall.
He just bounced it off the wall down here, coming out of the 4. Now, what happened here is he got down to turn 1, it wouldn't turn. Bounced it off the wall, probably lodged the steering up, probably got the fender down on the tire. When we got down to turn 1, may have even cut that right front down, she wouldn't turn.
Maryland hadn't been that many years ago. They actually moved that wall out some.
Oh, yeah. Well, they wiped this track out 3 feet. That doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're singing around here in 15 seconds, that's a lot.
Jimmy Spencer in the 1 car just pulled up there after he slapped the wall. There you see the caution flag coming out.
And he just narrowly missed losing a lap there as he got back to the line just ahead of Jeff Green.
Yeah, we have 17 cars on the lead lap. Jimmy Spencer is 17.
Want to go over here, bud. Let's clean them up. Get ready for a restart.
Jimmy Spencer, he wants to make sure he don't break the speed limit here, 30 miles an hour. He comes to pit road to get those 2 left side tires.
Boy, it takes a lot of discipline to run all the way around this racetrack at 30 miles an hour. And he's still got to come down here and get his left side tires.
Get it off and go.
They got him for too fast.
I'm telling you, it's going to be hard to do.
Now, since it's on the caution, it'll be at the tail end of the longest line.
Oh, they got trouble again, rolling him back.
Hey, we got to go. Come on. Let's go.
They didn't even get to change the tires. I'm not sure what happened. Did he run over the air hose down there, Doc?
Let's get going. Get going. Get up on the track. 8 cars in. Green flag, green flag.
He got rights on it, but he didn't get lefts.
So Spencer will take the restart half a lap behind the leader.
With only 2 tires.
He needs a caution to come back out. He needs it in a hurry.
He does, right away.
The leader's at the line now. Spencer's going into turn 3.
Matt, what happened there?
Well, the problem for Spencer, they needed to fix that damaged right front fender. They just felt like they would not have enough time, so they felt like their biggest problem was to fix the fender and not worry about the tires at the moment.
Tell you what, we're looking out at Greg Biffle's car here with Flat Stanley on board in 3rd place. He's got a good race car, too. He's all over the map with Kevin Harvick in that 29.
And, you know, so I just looked at the scoring on to Larry, and we were looking at that 2 car, the one that we said was a thing. Look where he's running. He's still on the lead lap.
Still on the lead lap in 13.
He can't see out the left window because the sheet metal's all been up over the side of it, but he's still going.
Up to 5th in that 54. New sponsor on board, Toys R Us.
You know, he's a good little driver. He drove that 37 car last year, and they put Purvis in it this year. He stepped into this 54 car, and he's been doing a pretty good job in this hot rod. And this is a track he runs well at, too.
Jeff Purvis in the 37. He's back on pit road.
another stop.
In front of this pack, Mark Green now tracking Greg Biffle. That's 3rd and 4th. Steve?
Well, Mike, Mark Green is just a little bit tight right now. I talked to Crew Chief Wes Ward, and their strategy is they're going to hope to get another caution in about 20 or 30 laps, and then short pit, take on tires. They're okay on gas, but they want tires in about 20 or 30 laps, and then they'll go the rest of the way. By the way, his brother David Green, the 1994 Busch Series champion, is spotting for Mark.
Well, I don't know. Right now, running in 4th, he just ran a lap at 15:84. Well, actually, his last lap was 16:12. Leaders up there running 16 flat.
And Christian Elder usually drives this car. Mark's filling in for him and doing an outstanding job, I got to say.
Good battle amongst some young drivers here, Darrell. Shane Meal, 47, is 10th. Casey Mears and Scott Wimmer right with him.
Shane Miller, the 47, they came up here and tested. He actually wrecked with just a few minutes to go on the last day of testing. They took this car back home, put a front clip on it, the whole front frame section, did the body back over, and then back up here, and he's sitting there running in the top 10.
Well, Casey Mears is using up that back bumper. He'll be doing some more body.
Whoa!
Yep.
Oh, hang on, Casey.
Oh, I almost saved it.
Caution's on the Speedway.
Here's a car spinning around, and guess who it is?
63.
We're going to get you 4 tires.
Lap 147, Casey Mears trying to make a pass, runs out of racetrack and slides up to the turn 2 wall. That's what's put us under caution. 63, Ken Alexander coming around into turn number 1.
Well, he got
his car afterward.
He got that nose in there, and this is one of those places where you just aren't sure if Shane Meal's going to give me room or not. If you keep going, you're going to take both cars out. You start trying to check up, you lose control, and up into the fence you go.
We always talk about give and take. There's not enough time here to almost give and take.
Now, Darrell, looks like he's almost going to save this thing. Does he just overcorrect?
Should have just spun it
right there.
Obviously, now he should have just spun it on out. Because it whoops around on you. So you're carrying a lot more speed there than it looks like on TV.
And here's Johnny Sauter right in the middle of it again.
No. There you go. Come on.
Johnny Sauter has not been in. He's in a great view of all day long.
Sure has. And Ken Alexander gets an assist from Jack Sprague.
Keep going.
Tough day for Alexander. That one, not his fault.
Shane Meal was lucky.
Yes, he was.
And the caution counter stands at 10. We'll be back to Bristol after this. Nine of the 16 cars on the lead lap take this occasion to pit under this caution flag. Kevin Harvick and Greg Biffle getting 4 tires. On the backstretch pit, the 38 of Mark Green came in as well. Among the leaders,
Kenny Wallace, Scott Riggs, Bobby Hamilton Jr., Shane Mill, Todd Bodine, and Jimmy Spencer also pitted. Steve Burns.
With Wes Ward, crew chief for Mark Green. West, and that caution coming a good time. Your strategy was a short pit.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how we got there. You know, Mark's doing an excellent job. We drove from 25th up to about 13th, and that was a bad call, or hard call to come in the first time, but we were running a little hot. And that's got us to second, but we're just a little too tight. And, you know, that's what I told the guys here. If we catch another caution, we're going to stop early again, make them do it. Some of them come, some of them didn't. So we'll see how it turns out.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag.
Jeff Green right here. Ooh, almost a wreck on the front straightaway.
Close. Jeff Green has Randy LaJoie with him on this restart, and Kevin Grubb in third.
Jeff Green and the 6 guys behind him stayed out. Kevin Harvick, he's in the 8th position. He's the first car of the leaders that pitted.
And Harvick just passed the 12 car on the apron.
It was the only place left.
Remember, 3 wide, and he was on the apron.
I'll clear.
Scott Wimmer Rimmer is 4th, Johnny Sauter 5th, and Mike McLaughlin is timed with 6th.
This restart was incredible. These cars are running. Watch the 29 get in the back.
Brian Vickers,
they go 3 wide here. They hang together. They go up the hill. Here comes Harvick down on the inside. Now, wait, they're not done yet. Now they start down the back. 3 wide again. Harvick takes the apron under the yellow line. With the Daytona, he'd be out of bounds, but here it's just a good place to pass.
It's just Bristol.
Well, pass them where you catch them.
You call it the pass in the grass, but there's no grass left here. It's all on the outside of the track.
The main thing here is if you make it or not. No matter where you pass them or how, it's just if you make it or not.
Mike McLaughlin's strategy is looking a lot better. After pitting 1 caution to go, giving up the lead to pit, McLaughlin has now climbed back up to 6th place. Here are the fellows he's chasing, including 2nd place Randy LaJoie and 3rd place Kevin Grove.
These guys, 2 cars that stayed out as well a while ago, just like Jeff Green, the leader.
That 40 car bounced off the fence again, almost got into the side of Miffle. Here comes the 29 under him.
Dick Berggren.
Well, Kevin Harvick hit it with 100 laps to go in this event, took 4 tires and fuel. They are only allowed 2 sets of tires under caution. Harvick has got all he can take. No more under caution for Harvick. To that.
Then rookie Scott Riggs came up to 5th spot with 4 fresh tires. He restarted at 12th. Harold, why did you guys quit? Some of the other leaders did not.
Well, we needed another adjustment for the car to be right. We pushed the nose in earlier. Water temp, I didn't want it to start creeping up as we went. I figured it was a good time to get some tape off and make that last adjustment we needed. So we're done for the day as far as Rich goes. Maybe we'll get a little luck out there and these other guys will come and we'll get some good traction action at the end. They don't have to. We could have made it. That was just a good thing for us to do. Better to have a safe day and not hurt a motor and get another adjustment on the car. See what happens.
Better safe than sorry down here in the 10 pit.
Good battle in 2nd spot, but Randy LaJoie works to hold off the Mechanicsville, Virginia driver Kevin Grove.
Now he's talking about tape on the grill. What happens here is you practice this. It was real cool this morning. You start the race, it's pretty cool. You get out with all this traffic, you find out you got too much tape on the grill and the temperature's creeping up. You got to do something about it.
Look at Scott Wimmer in a 23 car. He started deep in the field as well, and I talked to his crew chief this morning, Robin Barker, and he said our car is really good on long runs. They elected to stay out that time. He's up here battling Randy LaJoie and Kevin Grove for the 2nd position. Right now, they're a little over 2 1/4 seconds, though, behind leader Jeff Green. He's starting to get into a lot of lap traffic, though.
This place is starting to stand up here watching this start to remind me of that song Disney. I'm so dizzy, my head is spinning. These guys, they're spinning out there, we're spinning up here.
You know, right now, I believe Kevin Grove is a little bit quicker. Randy got out of shape right there, so it don't matter. I'll say he's a little quicker than Randy LaJoie. He just couldn't get by him.
Nice save by LaJoie.
Yes, it was. Regrouping, goes back to racing 4th here.
Settle down and hit your mark.
Bristol stomp.
Jeff Green, the leader. That puts Kevin Grove as the new 2nd place car, 2.4 seconds behind.
Not bad. Clear high.
Something we hadn't heard all day. Clear high. Clear anywhere.
The spotter definitely gets a workout here.
Well, this is that time of the race where you got some... Oh, man, he got off the fence.
It was Bobby Hamilton Jr. And Jeff Green having a little traffic trouble here. Number 21. Green works his way by Casey Mears.
Toby Raines love to see a caution to see if he can get his lap back there in the 33 car.
Well, on 54 car, they're sitting in 2nd place. And the car looks pretty good right now.
He's not having an easy time getting through traffic, though, Darrell.
No, but I think he's being really cautious. Yep. And he's kind of passing guys in a safe place, not forcing the issue.
Johnny Sauter in the 2 car. It's hard to believe when you look at that thing. That shows you aerodynamics means nothing here. He's sitting there in 9th position.
Yeah, that was a Chevrolet when this race started. It's a thing now.
Now, Tim Sauter lost a lap or 2 in that crash earlier. Right behind him, back at the 6th caution at lap 99.
Scott Riggs trying to work his way back toward the front.
Oh, back straightaway. Greg Biffle turns McMurray around, and he saves it.
No caution. Wow. These guys are getting good now. They can spin around, keep going. They've had enough practice.
Well, we stay green.
It's the second time I think McMurray's been involved in something.
Yeah, he was in the first one at lap 8.
Jeff Green, 75 laps to go. 1.8 second lead. Flat Stanley, hang on, baby.
Whoa. Yep. I think he's trying to get out of the way. Nice try.
Just barely hits that inside wall.
So McMurray will pit as the race leader. Jeff Green gets back into traffic again.
What happened with Jeff Green right now, cars he's trying to lap, they're not going to give him a break. But the guys back in 2nd and 3rd, Kevin Grubb, Scott Wimmer, they'll move over. So that's one reason that they close in so fast on Jeff Green, who's leading the race.
Trying to get past Kerry Earnhardt. He gives him the low lane.
Watch that shock absorber there, Larry. Watch that thing work. That's how rough. This bouncy, bouncy, bouncy.
Yeah, I mean, it never quits. And I mean, look, you'll get about 2 1/4 inches. This is where we measure the travel right there. We have that little tie wrap right there that we measure after a run. You get about 2 1/4 inches of travel in the corner, and it'll actually go and rebound as you come up off the corner. The shock will actually come apart.
It's that transfer we talked about, getting forward.
But it never quits moving right there. That's what we call velocity, the speed of the shock.
Whoops, got a car around down here. Turn 2, 98 car. Casey Kane right in front of the leader. Oh, other leaders. We're on a record-setting day here at Bristol, folks.
We've had 11 cautions.
For cautions.
The record is 14 here in the Channellock 250. Casey Kane going around at turn 2 as a result of casual contact.
How many races has Casey Kane been in here at Bristol? This is his first one. That's Robert Yates' car. He's finding Thunder Valley not to his liking.
Well, does anybody pit? If you're on the lead lap, Larry.
With the 70 laps to go, what we have to remember is guys that pitted that last caution lap, as Dick Bergen alluded to, they cannot change any more tires on the caution. You only have 2 sets. But I think Jeff Green, Kevin Grubb, Scott Wimmer, they have made their bed. They must lay in it. I don't think you can give up that position.
Don't even talk about it.
Let's have another look at what happened here. Turn 2.
He just got in there a little too hard. Got the thing back end, came around a little bit, and he tried to save it, and he couldn't, and it just came on around, smacked the outside wall, came right down in front of the leader.
We've watched him. He's been a little bit loose all day long.
Kevin LePage does a nice job to miss him there.
Well, thank the Lord that apron is that wide and flat down there. A lot of room.
I'll show you this in real time. Been a busy day here at Bristol in Thunder Valley. The parts guys are doing a great business. We'll be right back.
NASCAR Busch Series Racing on FX is brought to you by Sweet Busch Beer and Easy Drinking Busch Light. Busch, the proud sponsor of the NASCAR Busch Series.
A lot of pit stops under caution. Brian Vickers had to come back in to tighten the lug nuts, but we're getting set to go back to racing with Jeff Green leading Kevin Grubb, Scott Wimmer, Jimmy Spencer's up to 4th. Greg Biffle, Mike McLaughlin, Kevin Harvick, Scott Riggs, Kenny Wallace, and Todd Bodine.
Our top 3 now, they've been out there without pitting since that lap way back about 100 laps to go. And
they got to race the leader.
Kevin Grubb and Jeff Green in 21.
That 54 car looks pretty awesome.
Bristol right now. And I tell you who's looking good, our man in fourth, Jimmy Spencer, had that problem, stayed on the lead lap, pitted on lap 147. He has the freshest tires of the cars up at the front.
Kevin Grubb right there in second on the leader's bumper. Best Bristol finish in 8 starts, 7th in this race in 1991. Dick Berger.
Road trouble, here we go. Oh, wrecked it big. This is very good.
Buford and Ashton Lewis.
Butch Miller.
Oh, man, the 2-car almost got it again.
How would you ever know if he got it again?
Well, he would have gotten it then if the car hadn't been narrowed up, but it was so narrow he slid through.
Not sure who started that wreck, but Buford, not the worst of it. Nashville driver, driving what is now appropriately termed the Rent-A-Wreck Ford. Dick Berggren.
With Tony Lambert, crew chief for Kevin Grubb. Can you guys really win this thing? Grubb's never won one of these Busch Series races.
Anything's possible. I'm not going to jinx ourselves. I'm just glad to see his Toys R Us car up front, and first race for this team. And I'm just proud to be up front, and I just hope things come out for the best. This top 5 will be good.
Looking good so far. To Steve Burns.
Thanks, Dick. With Wally Rogers, crew chief for Randy LaJoie. Now, while you guys were running in the 4th position, but you came in and pitted, tell us about your strategy.
Yeah, well, the Kleenex Chevy was pretty good, but I was watching them guys that put tires on mow us down. I just can't take a chance right now.
Can you get back to the front?
Yeah, I think so. It's pretty good. The way the cautions are, who knows?
All right, good luck.
Kevin Grubb may have a shot at it here. Let's have a look at what happened to the black car of Joe Buford and the rest of this group.
Oh, looks like Ashton Lewis got into him. Going down into 3. They both go around.
Basically the same thing that happened to Casey Mears and Shane Mill earlier.
Right.
Perfectly timed spin there, and the 5-car goes by.
Butch Miller got turned around. Let's ride with Ashton Lewis. Did he stick his nose in where it didn't belong and that hole close up? Just run out of racetrack.
This is typical Bristol. Come down here, you get a run on the guy, you hope he gives you room. If he doesn't, that's the result.
And who has a bird's eye view again?
Come on.
Johnny Sauter.
Correct, 1 and 3. Back it down. Come low, all the way to the bottom. All right, what's back up? Come on.
Caution of the day.
There you go, you're good. Come on. Good job, buddy.
On a record pace for the number of cautions in this race, the record's 14. We've had 12, 56 laps to go.
Oh, yeah, we can break that record.
Kevin Grubb riding in second place. Remember how he took over that ride? Kelly Denton started the season as the team's driver, and after qualifying and after happy hour at Las Vegas, they let Denton go and put Kevin Grubb in the seat.
But about that crew chief, Tony Lambert, I was wondering if Tony had ended up. Tony Lambert was with Mark Martin for many of his Busch Series wins.
Yes, he was.
And this team owned by Rich Goodwin and Ed Whitaker, who had a lot of wins with his number 7 car.
Well, that's why it's running good here. Ed Whitaker got something to do with that car. It always ran good. Dale Earnhardt Jr. made his debut in the Busch Series in Ed Whitaker's car right here. It's on outside boat.
Local race team right here from Bristol.
Yeah, so that explains that.
All right, can Jeff Green stay out in front of Kevin Grubb? Scott Wimmer, Jimmy Spencer, and Greg Biffle, the top 5. Then it's McLaughlin and Harvick, Briggs, Wallace, and Todd Bodine. We're back under green.
55 laps to go.
17 cars on the lead lap.
And that's the 17 that aren't torn up. No, I take that back. The 2 cars.
Some of them are.
Oh, man, look at Todd go through there.
Opportunity presented itself, and
man, he took it.
Had to. That or get run over, Darrell.
Yeah, he had to go. Todd's doing a pretty darn good job in that 92 car, and I think that's 66.
Yep.
Casey Mears has cut out a tire.
He hit the wall coming off turn 2. Will have to make his way to pit road. 2 by 2. Green and Grubb, Wimmer and Spencer, and then Biffle by himself.
And I believe Spencer is faster than Scott Wimmer. I think he backed off right there, let those tires maybe cool down just a little bit. He just had been dogging and just couldn't get by him. Wimmer protecting that bottom of the racetrack.
Let's see who's fast here.
tell you who's pretty fast is that 18 car. He's worked his way back up through there as well.
Scott Riggs, our pole sitter.
Jeff Green leading the race right now, second quickest. Right now he's out there with no lap traffic to contend with.
Ashton Lewis gets a penalty stop for passing on the left side prior to the start-finish line. This time it's McLaughlin the fastest, then Riggs, and then Mark Green.
Right behind Mike McLaughlin, the 29 car, Kevin Harvick. Ever since he pitted back about 15, 20 laps ago, he just can't seem to go anywhere.
See, another guy that's struggling after his pit stop here last time is the 2 car. He's got a problem.
Let's mention that on that caution, Tony Raines did get back on the lead lap.
The 2 car just seems like he's struggling, Larry, since that last caution. I'm pretty sure he pitted again. Maybe they got low air and they haven't picked it up yet.
Around goes the 54. Grove, the second place car.
No.
Couldn't save it. Now he's still on the lead lap.
Get your gear, let's go, bud.
No caution yet. No caution.
Still on the lead lap.
Stay on the bottom.
Oh, what a shame.
He's going to really struggle here not to go a lap down. Leader's coming off turn 2 right now. He's going into turn 3, just getting up to speed behind a lot of cars here.
He could be okay, at least for a while.
Yeah.
As far as staying on the lead lap.
Went from 2nd to 17th.
He's about half a straightaway.
2 car again. Oh. Now, he was having a terrible time. I don't know. Oh, my goodness.
They just split him down here. Caution is on the Speedway this time.
Big break for Kevin Grubb. Tough break for Johnny Sauter. That used up whatever was left of the number 2 car.
He was, I don't know what his problem was, but he was struggling there.
75, it is in the rear.
Oh, that could have been it.
75, Butch Miller.
I wouldn't count him out. He didn't look a whole lot worse than that before that happened.
Make it a slow count. All right, first, let's show you what happened
We may have to go back to the truck.
to Kevin Grubb. By himself, the yellow car in second place.
He just got in there a little hard. He just drove in a little too deep. Car comes around on him.
And you know, a lot of times, Darrell, if you use a little too much brake getting in the corner here, that will make a car lose because you have so much front brake over the rear brake.
Or maybe she bottomed out just a teeny bit with it. Now, here's the 75, going down in the corner, and he just clips the back of the Sauter's car, and around he goes. That's a pretty hard lick there. That's a tough car, though. That sucker's still going. Ooh.
Hello.
That was a hard lick.
Well, let's see. We've had 13 caution flags. Where will these cars end up at the end of the day? Maybe here. Maybe not. We're under caution for the 1 shy of a record time here at Bristol. We'll be right back. Kevin Grubb made a pit stop for tires. He starts 16th. Last car on the lead lap as Jeff Green brings them down. Now he's got Scott Wimmer, Jimmy Spencer, and Greg Biffle to contend with. And McLaughlin, Riggs, Harvick, Wallace, and Todd Bodine.
Well, Grubb will have the best tires of anybody, but he's got the worst track position, so I don't know if they're going to help him or not. He's got to get back to the front somehow.
He's only got 37 laps to do it. Spencer with the old up-down.
Whoa, hang on, bud. Only Jimmy Spencer could have saved that one.
And right now, of all these cars, Jimmy Spencer in the 1, Greg Biffle in the 60, they by far have the fresher tires over Scott Wimmer in the 23 and Jeff Green leading the race.
Harvick gets past Riggs, so does Kenny Wallace.
Kenny Wallace is quietly up there in the top 10, minding his manners. It's a shot from Kenny's car.
That's Harvick just in front of it. How about Kevin Grubb, Dick?
Well, he had an absolutely terrible pit stop, Mike. They had trouble with the right front. Tony Lambert finally got around to the left front, and they had already taken off the right and the left rear tires. Started to take it off, but at any rate, he got a go, and then a no. And by the the time they got done, they'd about lost the lap. A very, very disastrous pit stop for Kevin Grubb.
He did get out on the lead lap, however, and he's 16th. Now here's Spencer after Scott Wimmer. This is for second place.
Well, Spencer's better off at 2. Wimmer cut down in front of him last time, and Jimmy got sideways. I wouldn't do that again if I was him.
But he got that right front into that right rear right there. Wimmer's going to have to work to get back down in there before Biffle gets there and closes the door.
He did do that. Wimmer's not quite as good as these cars right now. The 60, 18, they're all better than he is.
Meanwhile, Jeff Green, he's moved out to almost a 1.5 second lead while these guys been back there battling for second.
Boy, Biffle drove in too hard, slid up the hill. McLaughlin shot under him. Now McLaughlin's on the move.
Flat Stanley is coming. Let's go to Matt.
Mike, under that last caution, the only conversation between Jeff Green and his Trixie Butch Hilton was concerning the 1 car. That's the car that they were concerned about the most. They were hoping Spencer would be caught up more in traffic, but now that he's got around the 23, he has smooth sailing through the 21, but does he have enough time?
Oh, he's got plenty of time, and he's closing at a high rate of speed.
And it won't be but about a few more laps before Jeff Green, he starts getting in the lap traffic.
30 to go on a half mile. That's just your average Friday night feature at Stafford for Spencer.
This is Spencer's kind of race. Bounce it off the wall, bounce it off other cars, whatever it takes.
He is. He's quicker than Green.
Actually, right there, of course, Jeff Green had to go around some lap traffic. He wasn't even in the top 5 of speeds.
So let's do it again, Larry.
All right, he'll be in clear traffic, so we'll see how he fares this time.
A little quicker.
Yeah, but he stays at the top of the speed chart then. Lap traffic is what it's all about. It can make you or break you, especially in the closing stages.
I believe, and I said this the other day, I'll say it again, that this 1 car, this Busch car, is what made Jimmy Spencer look for another ride last year. When he found out he could win races, he won several races driving this car. He knew he could win it in the Winston Cup Series as well. And I think he started looking for a different ride after that.
Put that confidence.
He had that confidence. And he likes these guys. They all get along really well.
Well, I think the big difference there is they race for fun, that bunch.
They do.
You know, they don't race for points. They race for fun, and they race to win.
Right now, Jeff Green, he's fixing to get in some heavy traffic. The last lap, actually, Jimmy Spencer picked up almost 0.2 of a second on him.
Got to be careful.
Battle for third right here. Scott Wimmer in 23. Mike McLaughlin tries to work up the high side of the racetrack a little bit. Goes around Jack Sprague in the 24.
Tumbled down, got into the back of the 84 car over there. Almost took him out.
Now he follows LaJoy.
Todd was in the 92 car right there. Ran up on that 84 car so fast he didn't know which way to go. Ran the back of him.
Randy LaJoy in the 7 car. He's in the 9th position.
Let's get an update on the 3rd place car of Scott Wimmer. Dick?
Well, his problem right now, Mike, is that the car is tight coming off the corners. The tires are pretty old. Last time they put fresh tires on that car was lap 135.
Meanwhile, Kevin Grubb, he's marching toward the front, taking no prisoners,
No,
Darrell.
sir. He's got those fresh tires, fresher tires than anybody out there. And not only that, the leader is coming in, he's still coming off 4. Grubb's going into turn 1, so he's got to go.
Watch him battle Brian Vickers here. Gotta go. Can't wait.
I got 4 of them Mr. Feel-Goods, and I'm a-coming.
And I'm running out of time.
That's right.
So Grubb is up only to 15th. Remember, he had that late pit stop on the last caution flag. We talk about Jimmy Spencer's bunch and how, everybody here races to win, everybody in this series. But when you're racing part-time, you're not counting points, and you're here like James Finch is to have a good time. This is his golf game. It's here with this racing, and with Spencer, he's got a fellow that will do anything it takes to try to get it there.
Well, I know we got to have a point system because we got to have a national champion, and we got to keep everybody interested in what's going on there. But if we didn't have points, we'd see a lot of different racing than we see a lot of times, too.
Riding with Greg Biffle and Flat Stanley.
Looking out there, Hurricane Harvick. It's a battle for 5th.
Now, he and Biffle spent a lot of time bumper to bumper last season. In fact, most all season.
Bumper to bumper, nose to nose a few times.
That, too.
Here's like to drive that car with that throttle. Just won't quite take that throttle all the way down off the corner once you get this far into a run.
Looks to me like that Jeff knew that Spencer was coming, and he stepped it up a notch. He's gotten through this traffic real aggressively. He hadn't waited on anybody. Spencer hadn't really closed lately.
Right now, Green's about a tenth of a second faster. Last lap was 16:44. Spencer ran 16:53.
I think that the end is in sight.
15 to go. Last thing Jeff Green wants is for Spencer to get to him.
He's getting to him because he can see him in that mirror, and that's getting to him.
14 to go in about 8 or 9 laps. Jeff Green's going to be in some heavy lap traffic.
And how many times have we seen that affect the outcome of these races?
A 1 second lead for Jeff Green. 13 caution flags, one shy of the record. 13 to go.
This is where he's more or less racing lap traffic much more than right now he's racing Jimmy Spencer.
He's just hoping he catches these guys in the right place.
And I'm not sure where the right place here at Bristol is.
It's on the straightaway, and that only lasts for a second.
Right. There's Spencer, 1 second back. There's Green. There's Spencer. Michael Waltrip.
Here we go. Damn.
Oh, hard to the wall.
Right here comes another one.
Ken Alexander gets him back to Stacy Compton.
I believe Ken Alexander may have finally killed that thing.
Kevin Harvick has just destroyed the front of that car.
He got a little nudge. He got a little nudge from behind, and it just lost control of the car, and it turned dead right into the fence.
Well, he and Biffle had been racing nose to tail for 5th place.
And that thing is, look at it, the right front is shoved under the dashboard. That's a pretty hard lick.
I think Harvick is okay. He'll race tomorrow as we bring you the Food City 500 on Fox.
I'm not going to be very happy, I bet you.
Well, his day is done. There was also 2 cars got together off turn 2 at the same time. We had this caution.
Somebody gets into the back of him here.
Boots him.
Biffle in the 60 car.
Yikes.
Let's ride with Stanley as we flatten Harvick's car.
Whoops. Just got back in the throttle a little harder than Harvick did and got into the back of him.
Now, at turn 2 at the same time, Shane Meal got into the side. Was that Todd Bodine?
Couldn't tell.
And we look like we may be getting a red flag here with about 9 laps to go.
So Harvick, okay, having to walk over the pit wall and walking into Greg Biffle's pit.
Talking to Randy Goss. It's Biffle's crew chief.
Not about the weather.
No.
So this race has been red flagged so that the fluid debris from and the remains of Kevin Harvick's car can be removed. And then they'll restart it.
And you know, Darrell, if I'm Jeff Green in the 21 and I'm sitting there with these 150-something laps on my tires, these tires are liking this little cool down period right here.
Yes, they are.
The caution came out before we go back racing. I believe I'd like to see this just to get my tires cooled down, because Spencer is on much better fresh weather tires.
Well, E.T. will have to walk home. Dick Berggren?
Kevin Harvick, what happened out there?
Well, you know, our car was a little bit tight, and we were just trying to make it to the end, and we were catching the 18 and the 23. And, you know, I always said Greg Biffle was a good guy, but he's about the most impatient thing. I'll be waiting when he comes in here.
Very unhappy. Very, very unhappy.
He was saying he will patiently be waiting for him when he comes in. Wasn't that what he said?
Words to that effect.
Something to that effect.
He's going to be waiting no matter what.
There it is. As Harvick tried to straighten his car up, it just turned right and shot into the wall and wrecked hard.
Snap hook.
9 laps to go. 14 caution flags. Who can survive and win this race?
Welcome back in Bristol, Tennessee. The race has been red flagged. Jeff Green, your leader, trying to win for his first time after going 0 for 17 at this track. But the race back for the 5th and 6th spot, and the rivalry between Kevin Harvick and Greg Biffle taking place. And you heard moments ago Harvick saying, "I'll be waiting for Greg. I thought he was a good guy," and he went right to the trailer.
Short track racing at its finest. This is what Bristol brings out in these guys, because everything happens so fast. You know, Kevin's wanting to blame Greg. I'm sure Greg's going to say, "Hey, man, I got back to throttle. You didn't go." Now they want to have a fisticuff time.
But Jeff, and in fact, in the recent FHM magazine, Tony Stewart quoted as saying, "Hey, sometimes a good fight, that's part of racing." But here, there's a history. Last year, I believe Biffle took a swing in Richmond at Harvick, and it really was going on long before that. Is it too much bumping on the track between these two? Is it something personal?
No, it probably is personal by this point in time, because they've had so many bump-ins. These guys get together every time. They're such good competitors that next thing you know, they find themselves racing each other every week. Pushing and shoving is just part of their repertoire, you might say. They don't mind shoving on each other. When it comes to Biffle hitting into Harvick, I think he looks for him a lot of times.
All right, so what do you think is going to happen? Obviously, it's up to NASCAR, but somebody's going to be told something.
Well, they're going to be the referee. They're not going to allow anything, I think, to happen at this point in time.
We're going to keep a camera, by the way.
You need to, but I really believe they're going to put put these guys in timeout for a little bit. I'm sure they'll usher Biffle off into another trailer. Harvick will go in one. They'll have a conference and they'll talk about it a little bit. But you can watch and see. The next time these two guys wind up on a racetrack, they'll get back at it again.
It certainly will be worth watching. This is the Busch Series version of Survivor. Jeff Green and Jimmy Spencer hanging on at this moment. Let's go down to Dick Bergman for more on Kevin Harvick. Dick?
Actually, we're going to talk a little bit about Jimmy Spencer. I'm with James Finch, his team owner. Hey, with all this knocking around that's going on here, you guys don't run for points. How are you going to play your cards from here, James?
Well, you know, last week we blew up with 10 laps to go. We got 9 laps now, so the best way to make the yellow freight people happy is to win the race.
All right, good luck with it. There's Steve Burns.
Thanks, Dick, with Butch Hilton, crew chief for Jeff Green. Butch, does this red flag hurt your chances?
Yeah, I think if that had went green to the end there, I think we'd have been in pretty good shape. I'll put my money on Jeff Green in the Rockwell Automation Chevrolet, though. I think he'll get his tires cleaned up real good, and we'll still have a good chance at it. Jimmy's got a good car. It's going to be a great race for the fans here at the end, I think.
All right, thanks, Butch. Let's go to Mike Joy.
Thanks, Steve. As we get set to wait for the cars to refire up and to get going again through the miracle of television and the magic of some of the things we have up here, let's offer a little bit of help there to Flat Stanley. Let's just cover him over so he doesn't have to see these last few laps.
Oh, the fight could be as good as the race. You never know.
There's little Jimmy.
Oh, gosh. All right, we'll hope to fire him up when we come back.
Tore up my favorite car, boy.
Kevin Harvick standing atop the 2019's War Wagon, glaring at Greg Biffle as Biffle goes by. We have 8 laps to go. This will be a quickie yellow, which means they'll open the pits this time. Everybody can pit, and then they'll get 1 to go. There's what happened, top of your screen. As Biffle got into the gas before Harvick, and just too much contact for Harvick to be able to straighten out.
Yeah, I know he's got ET on his uniform, but I think he's going to put a bat leaf on him when he comes in.
Hardly anybody pitted. Derek Cope, I believe, is the only car that came to pit road.
Who has a set of tires don't need to pit. Who don't have tires can't pit.
Yeah, I think I'd be coming in now.
I thought we'd get 1 to go here with 7 laps left.
When we do get 1 to go, it's what we call a down finger restart, which is under 10 laps to go. Single file, only lead lap cars, which you have about 15 of them, to the front of the pack.
Now you're going to see why I'm not a big fan of stopping races. Because you got everybody here bunched up now with 7, it'll be 6 to go when they come by. Everybody's going to be take no prisoners.
15 cars on the lead lap.
So everybody swerving back and forth. Scott Wimmer there in the 23, Mike McLaughlin in the 18, trying to get those tires cleaned off.
They're the 3rd and 4th place cars. Then you see the 60 of Biffle is 5th. The 48 of Kenny Wallace is 6th. There's Kenny. The 7 of Randy LaJoy is 7th. 1 lap to go.
Darrell, I just believe if Spencer has a chance, he's got to make it happen fast, like going into turn 1 on this restart.
Yeah, I haven't seen enough restarts to really be able to tell who's got the advantage, but Green certainly being in front is not going to be hurting.
Back in 8th, Scott Riggs, who started on the pole and who told us this morning that if he could run a clean race, keep the fenders on the car, and finish in the top 5, he'd be real happy. He's sitting in 8th, so he's pretty well accomplished his goal. Todd Bodine 9th, Shane Neal 10th. The other lead lap cars are Tony Raines, Mark Green, Kevin Grubb, Bobby Hamilton Jr., and senior prom boy Brian Vickers.
5 laps to go. Darrell, pull them belts one more time for me, buddy. Pull them tight.
It kind of reminds me of that Elvis song, Caught in a Trap.
Jeff Green with a mirror full of Jimmy Spencer.
He's going.
Green flag, green flag, green flag, green flag.
He got a little jump there.
5 to go. And he's going to need it.
Yes, he is, because Spencer's going to be all over him.
Boy, Spencer got a good run off turn 2. These 5 laps, they'll go by in a hurry. Just a little over a minute.
4 to go. Todd Bodine gets under Scott Riggs.
He did. He just gave him a little shove. Kind of like what Biffle did to Harvick, but Riggs was able to hang on.
Spencer a little loose there. Here they come for 3 to go.
Looks like Green's tires are starting to kind of come to him.
McLaughlin looking under Wimmer for 3rd. Not that time.
Both cars look pretty even.
Time to go, Darrell. 2 laps to go.
And I don't think they're going to get any lap traffic. So this speed should be clean laps.
This is when you drive just like you're qualifying. You give it all you got. Here we go.
Wreck in turn 2. The 38 goes around.
Mark Green.
Now,
white flag.
White flag. They got to run the checker. This is it. The white's out. Here they come. Spencer underneath Jeff Green. It's a drag race.
All kinds of lap traffic back there.
Here comes the 18 car up on the outside. Spencer's going to come back down.
On the apron.
Oh, he shouldn't have done that.
No, he gave up 2 or 3 positions and turned Jack Sprague hard into the inside wall.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, Jeff Green wins it. And on the last lap, we set a record for the number of cautions.
I tell you what we got to worry about. That 14 car hit Mark Green right in the driver's door.
Larry Foyt involved with Green in turn 2. Jimmy Spencer off 4 was looking for racing room. Sprague was there.
Hey, great job, guys. I'm up here to celebrate.
Spencer went to the apron. And then came off turn 4 into the back of Sprague.
I think he may get stuck right there, Larry.
All right, Mark Green's moving around in that car. You see even the roof is dented in.
Yeah, you can see that left side took a hard lick.
His younger brother will go to victory lane. Now, let's see the wreck first. Watch 38 Mark Green and Kevin Grubb.
Green just got to get under him, and there wasn't enough room. Now he starts down the track. Boom. Oh. Then coming to the green, or coming to the checkered. Oh, that's right in the driver's door.
Say hit so hard, even bent the roof.
Now here, let's look at the last lap once again, because once that caution's out in turn 2, when the white flag waves, you got to race back to the flag.
They're both on the flat because there's red cars up there. Let's get the lap car. Now Spencer's probably picking up a lot of trash on his tires. He's going to try him one more time down there on the apron. Probably shouldn't have done that. Jack Sprague's in the way. Round Sprague goes.
And he actually lost 2 positions because Scott Wimmer even got by him as well for 3rd.
Now Sprague, after that wreck, is out of his car, and he is running toward Jimmy Spencer's car. As are now a bunch of NASCAR officials running to intercept him. I think, as you said it, Spencer was coming, and Sprague, the lap car, was in his way.
Here we go.
And this is Kevin Harvick going after Greg Biffle. Well, that's a shame, but you have seen how fenders and tempers can fly here at Bristol. Jeff Green has won, and he is probably the only happy driver in the whole place.
Hey, Bristol always does it. I've always said, when you come in the front stretch out there in the gate, you better leave your feelings outside.
There's nobody in victory circle. He's by himself. Nobody there to greet him.
It's Jeff Green's first win here after 4 second-place finishes. His 15th career win in the Busch Series. He's the 30th different driver in 40 races to win here. Matt?
And after 18 tries, Jeff Green finally wins one here in Thunder Valley. This is big for you, isn't it?
Congratulations.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it is big.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Hey, Will.
Sorry.
I tell you what, I've had too many seconds here. Seconds great, but to win one is awesome. That's what we're here for. We got these 31 guys here today pitted, and we just had some trouble in the pits all year, and they fixed it. So I know my Rockwell guys would do it too. But second, you know, winning a Bristol's like winning a Darlington. Anywhere you go, and hopefully we can do that tomorrow in the AOL car too. That beer's strong too.
A big win here for Jeff Green, and he said, boys will be boys, and this is a great win for me today. Kick.
Times for Greg Biffle, your side of what happened out there.
Well, you know, I moved up and let Kevin go there about 4 laps before that because I was getting really loose, and we had a couple cautions, and then Kevin's handle went off his car, and he was getting really loose, and you know, I was back on him there, and he just got loose up off, and he had to check out of the throttle. He knows he did, and I bumped him a little bit, and you saw these guys spinning by themselves. It's so slick around here, and it's just Bristol. That's just racing, you know. I know there'll be some fans mad at me for doing it, but I mean, I didn't do it on purpose. That's just racing at Bristol, hard short track racing. But, you know, the guys did a great job, gave me a good car all day. I screwed up, qualified 18th, and we come back up here to get a top 5. This is a great run for us. I just feel bad. I'd never been Kevin out on purpose. I was on the receiving end at Richmond when it was just a racing deal, and it's just a racing deal here, you know. And I feel bad, but that's just racing.
And that's both sides of the story. To Steve Burns.
Thanks, Dick. We caught up with Jimmy Spencer. Jimmy, tell us about the last laps here.
Oh, man. Can you believe the race? I mean, that's what people come to Bristol for. That's what Fox is doing here. We just had a really good car, and we needed long runs. Lap cars are terrible today. I mean, absolutely pitiful. And that cost us a race. But, you know, Jeff Green had a really good race car. And on the restart there, I knew that I was in trouble because my car was too tight on restarts. And right there, heck, I ended up losing third all the way back to fourth, you know, because there was an accident. I got down there low and then tried to get by a couple lap cars there. Everybody slowed down. They forgot about racing back and cost me two more positions. But, yeah, I don't care where I finish if you don't win. I don't give a damn. It's a shame to say that, but we had a really good car. But I love this racetrack, and I was close, but I was only close enough to get probably second, and I ended up fourth by not paying attention probably.
Good luck tomorrow, Jimmy. Let's go back upstairs.
Jimmy Spencer gave it his all, and James Finch would just to see him end up fourth trying for the win, then settle for second. Now, we had talked to Kevin Harvick as he was waiting for Greg Biffle when Biffle climbed out of his car.
Here he comes. He leaped over the barriers there and made his presence felt.
And now he and his crew chief and his owner will make a visit to the big blue truck and meet with the NASCAR Busch Series officials. Dick Berggren.
With Magic Shoes, Mike McLaughlin. Hey, you came out of that pretty well, the second place finish.
That's unusual for me. Usually we get caught up in those deals, but you know, I'll tell you, I owe that one to Curtis Markham. He made the call, track clear, go high.
Curtis Markham is his spotter.
Curtis, my spotter, and he did an awesome job out there today. I mean, this is survival. You know, we thought we had a top 5 car, just getting through all the mishaps. Just happy for everybody with MB&A and Joe Gibbs Racing. I tell you, we get a lot of help from the Cub Shop, the engine shop, doing some good work under the hood. We can't thank them enough, everybody.
Driver did a good job today, too.
We did our best.
Mike?
McLaughlin rewarded with a second place finish. A lot of positions changed on that last lap. Wimmer third, Spencer fell to fourth, Biffle fifth, Kenny Wallace, Randy LaJoy, Todd Bodine, Scott Riggs the pole sitter, and Shane Meal.
And Butch Hilton, Jeff Green's crew chief, made the move from car chief from Bobby Labonte's Winston Cup team to come be the crew chief on this Busch team and gets his first win as a crew chief.
Look back through the top 20 in these cars who were laps down at the finish.
It's going to hurt. Jason Keller came in here leading the points, barely ends up 29th after being involved in that wreck early.
And most of these cars were in the garage when it ended.
Johnny Sauter in the 2 car. He dodged a bunch of bullets, just couldn't dodge that final bullet.
Boy, I tell you, he must have been in 5 wrecks.
update on Mark Green. He is still in the car, but he is awake, alert, and talking to the rescue workers. Remember, he was hit hard in the driver's door.
And what you see laying on the roof, that's his Hans device that he wears, head and neck restraint device.
Let's catch up with the third place finisher. Here's Steve.
Mike, that's Scott Wimmer. Scott, tell us about a wild day here at Bristol.
Yeah, typical day, actually. Came back from a spin midway through there, and I handed it to my guys. They put a great car under me. We've been struggling the last 3 or 4 weeks here, but we'll get it turned back around. Food City was nice to come on today, and that really helped us out a lot.
Does this help your confidence?
Yeah, a lot. You know, I would never get down on myself. It just, you know, the team gets down and everybody. It's hard to get that morale built back up, but third place at Bristol will do that quick.
Good job, Scott.
Thank you.
That ties Wimmer's career best. Third place finish. He got a third at Nashville in April 1 year ago. Kevin Harvick is waiting for his consultation there at the big blue truck. Matt?
Well, first off, Kevin, what's your side of the story?
It's pretty apparent what my side of the story is. I got one firewall deep out there, but, you know.
I'm at the post-race conversation you had.
You know, I let Greg Biffle get away with some stuff earlier last year, and, you know, he comes and just rams me in the ass. Pretty much puts us in the fence and ruins a brand new race car. There is no way I'm leaving this racetrack without telling somebody that just intentionally put me into the fence or tried to knock me out of the way how I feel. And they don't like it, but that's Greg Biffle for you.
Well, Biffle said that he had to lift.
Biffle's an idiot. That's pretty much enough. That's all you got to say.
And that's the story from Kevin Harvick's viewpoint, Mike.
Darrell, it's hard to keep your temper in check here when you run in these close quarters at these speeds at this place.
Well, you got to realize it's his favorite car. Now that may not mean a thing to anybody at home, but he's just got his favorite car. He's got the wheel shoved up under the dashboard, and he feels like it wasn't necessary, and so that makes it even worse. Yep. So I understand, but got to have some restraint, boys.
Well, folks, if you love this, we have 500 laps of it for you tomorrow.
Oh, boy. As the wheel turns.
Chris Myers?
All right, thanks, guys. We're with Jeff Hammond of the Hollywood Hotel. Let's check out the points so far through the Busch Series. Greg Biffle, worth fighting for every spot, literally.
Exactly.
Ahead of Jeff Green, you see Kenny Wallace, a guy who's been on the Winston Cup Series, and Jack Sprague, who had a little tilt himself with Jimmy Spencer.
Again, it's just what brings out people out in Bristol. I mean, it's just one of those deals. When you short track race, you push everybody to the limit. And I think you saw what the limit was here today. There was a lot of drivers who normally have got a lot of composure. They lost it.
A couple of points. Jeff Green, again, his first win here in 18 tries. No driver has ever swept the Busch Series and then gone on to win the Winston Cup race same weekend here in Bristol. Jeff Green starts 24th tomorrow. His older brother, Mark Green, as we mentioned before, he is talking to his crew, appears to be okay, was still in his car. But, I mean, let's ring the bell for another. You know, they talk about celebrity boxing on Fox. I mean, we might have a celebrity Busch bashing here. And, you know, what cracked me up here was that both Harvick and Biffle were smiling after their incident, and Harvick going over the car to try and get Biffle afterwards.
You got that all wrong. You ever seen two dogs when they get facing each other, they growl at each other? That's what they were doing. They were showing their teeth to try to show who was bigger and badder. But I'm sure NASCAR is going to jump in the middle of this here and slow it down really quick.
And again, in your opinion, you thought that Biffle was not, he said it wasn't intentional. It didn't look that way to you.
It just looked like that to me. The one thing I want to talk about here right now,
with Mark Green, by the way,
there's a good possibility with all the padding around the legs that there's a good possibility if the door bar's moved in and out, he may have his knee or his foot kind of pinned up in there where he can't get it out. Now, it doesn't mean he's hurt, but it may be he just kind of pinned himself in because all the safety padding in that area is very tight. And that's what I believe they're doing. Is they're just trying to get to where he can slide out of the car a little easier. Everything's so tight in there.
And that's what we're hearing on the radio. So it's a matter of just getting him out there safely to make sure that
and get him out so they don't have a problem.
A wild finish to a wild race. It was crazy going nuts. And coming up next, I know a couple of drivers that could use a timeout or an hour of happiness, and they do call it happy hour here. And it was like Demolition Derby or Battle Bots or the Tough Man competition. A record-tying 14 caution flags as Jeff Green, after 4 second-place finishes here, never won in 17 tries until today. And it was a full moon with all the activity that we saw, and what looked like a happy beginning under sunny, cool skies. It was a crazy finish, and that's it for here for our entire race crew. Thanks for watching NASCAR and FX. Stay tuned for Winston Cup Happy Hour. See you tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern in the Food City 500 from Bristol, Tennessee. Thanks for watching.